Welcome back, episode 83 of Revisited, and we're doing one of the viewer request month 1.5, boys, before we get into viewer request month proper. Probably not going to get to the last two before, but maybe we will, because those RPGs are long, but we've got 2 months, so maybe we will get to them in time. We are talking about a Moro Arc review, Dragon Ball Super's best arc by Totally Not Mark. This was requested by Gavin. I don't remember why he got a free Revisited.
Oh, we gotta talk to him.
About what?
You remember the people who requested it, we gotta talk to them, figure out why they chose this video.
Oh, yeah. So we'll probably...
Whenever he's available, if he even wants to do it.
Yeah, we'll ask him if he wants to do it, and then we'll throw something in here.
Hey, what's up, Alex? It's your boy. I'm gonna keep this one short because, you already know. So the first reason that I chose the Mark video is because, it's Mark. He's gonna do the typical Markisms, and we all know the things about Mark, and, he's so insanely predictable that's why we love him. That's why we love coming back to him, because it's always the same. It's like eating white rice. You eat it, and then it's white rice, and then you eat it again, and it's more white rice, and it's always the same white rice, and it's white rice. And the second reason that I chose Mark, specifically the reason I chose this video, is because I just find it funny that this is one of the few videos of Mark's that didn't get taken down that was Dragon Ball related, because he couldn't use anime clips in this. And I just find it funny that, everyone's so completely on Mark's side for this, which, copyright laws, all that. But maybe if he used less anime clips, he wouldn't get his videos taken down. Like the Moro video, which didn't get taken down because there are no anime clips. But, that's it. Hope you guys are in for a lot of pain. By the time you're hearing this, it's already happened, but, you know.
So, a description, I guess?
I just had a comment about the Hunter x Hunter thing, so I had to go back and listen. I'm like, oh, Mark! I forgot.
You forgot who Mark was?
Yeah, and I'm like, man, and this... Oof. There is a hard... Alright, this is getting bad in Moro Arc. And it is... Oh, dude! It's exactly when the first fight ends, where they go their separate ways. Yep. Vegeta goes to... I'm like, bam! Here it is. Bad City.
So, go ahead and read that description. I gotta do something real quick.
Dragon Ball Super has been a trip from Battle of Gods to Beerus and Resurrection F with Frieza. Frieza? Why do you spell it both ways? It doesn't matter. Early on, as the years passed, we were introduced to characters like Zamasu. Why do we need this? Goku, Black, Hit, and Jiren. Through stories like the Universe 6 arc Future Trunks and the Universe Survival. And then out of nowhere, the show ended. Fast forward a few years... and a movie later, we find ourselves, after having received the very first manga original Dragon Ball Super arc, and ... I loved it.
How?
How indeed. And the characters, ! Moro, Miris, and oh boy did I love Jaco. I like Jaco quite a lot. Jaco was funny. I've been extremely critical of what Toyotaro and Dragon Ball Super's manga at large, but after having gone back over the story all at once, the issues I had prior either entirely vanished or were much more manageable. Join me today as I cap off the year with a big Dragon Ball Super review. No. They're bad, Mark. It's bad.
This is a really bad arc. But you know what? It's good in the space of Dragon Ball.
Yes, it is probably still the best Dragon Ball Super. No, definitely still. Granola arc is horrible.
But the issue is, it's a 4 amongst 2s.
It's really, really bad.
So you could look at it as whatever you want, but it's a 4 amongst 2s.
I don't understand. Where's the light to come? You know what? Vegeta character development. We're gonna get that.
We got Vegeta, we got Miris, we got Moro, we
expansion of the universe and a hierarchy.
We got the side characters doing things.
They weren't good things, but they were nothing. It was a waste of time.
did they do something?
It was-
There's Yamcha doing things. There's Krillin
He
doing.
beat some people. Hey, ATN, yell at this person. Oh, you can't even do that. Their fight was like 5-6 panels.
But it was more than they usually get.
Man, it's
That cool shot where they're all standing there as Galactic Patrol with the symbol. So cool.
it's an effort was there. It is.
The effort is
It is.
100% there.
Make the characters do something. Okay, we got that. Now make them do something good and important and relevant. And we're waiting on that. But we got the beginnings of it, of them doing something. Them just
Anything.
fighting people. Them just going, I'm not who I was 2 months ago. I trained. Like,
Krillin,
so-
you bust out the same out of scene 1,000 times.
did you get that much stronger? Krillin trained. Piccolo and Gohan trained. I'm like, and they're both like, yeah, we're so much stronger than back then. In 2 months, what did y'all do?
Where did y'all train?
We saw not panel 1 of that, but we saw all of this Goku and Vegeta stuff. Why not? Why not
'cause
just
the
show
important
something?
stuff. What do you mean?
And then Jaco just goes, the little dude just goes, we'll be back in 6 universe cycles. And Jaco's like, no, we know.
It was 7.
7 universe cycles. And they're like, that's like 20 days. And he's like, no, we need at least 8. And he goes, all right, that's cool. That's 2 months. I'm like, wait, how does that
What is
work?
the conversion rate there?
Is it like every 8th is so much longer of a cycle? It's
Maybe it's like ticks. So like 1 tick 1, 1 2 ticks 2, 1 2 3 ticks 3. So altogether, it's technically 7 there as opposed to 3.
I'm sure that math doesn't work out.
I'm just saying that's the only way it could work out something like that. Closer to that, that's just an example. Closer to that type of math as opposed to we're 20 days equal. 7 equals 20, and then 8 equals 60. Like
And then there's a bunch of little stuff like Vegeta starts fighting and Piccolo goes, he's much stronger than I've ever seen him. I'm like, you can't sense his energy. What are you talking about?
Hey, it's that form he used. Oh,
Oh my goodness.
I can't sense Goku because he's the god energy. Well, Vegeta's stronger than I've ever seen. Cool.
This was not a good arc on reflection. If it was just more of, hey, the first fight of, hey, how do we beat him? Boo doing, I'm like, Boo's broken. No wonder why they don't have him fight. He is shattered. So just have that first half, and it's like, okay, how do we defeat this month that's just like absorbing energy, just raw, easy, don't even have to do anything. Oh, let's just go over here and get a technique that separates him from the energy. What the Come on!
Hey, a dragon, please grant wish of give him all power back.
As I have this brainwashing helmet on this kid?
Correct.
What was that?
New development of technology for
Man!
at some point.
I saw that, I'm like, okay, but the Namekians would rather die than do all this Frieza stuff again, so how are they gonna do this? Oh, brainwashing helmet. And then when the Namekians came back, the energy got back in them, the little Namekian was just like, oh, because the Dragon Balls were left there, it must be the Dragon Balls protecting the planet and not making them deteriorate or anything.
You
I'm
mean
like,
the rocks that they become after the fact?
oh my, it's horrible. They don't care. And I ain't even getting into the Susanoo stuff. I'm not even getting into that dumb Cell Moro. Oh.
So interesting.
30 minutes! Mark liked it. How?
I think he's also going to do a retrospective on other things in Super since he talked about they're more manageable now. I don't see how, but that's the only thing I could think of. So let's just get into it.
This video is sponsored by Surfshark. About 16 months ago, I made the biggest mistake of my career. Bigger than that dreaded animated moments video and bigger than my Pokemon video. Those two were either naivety or lacking in clarity, but this one, I should have known better. You see, 16 months ago, I released a breakdown of the Moro character and the arc as a whole, before it finished. On top of being largely negative, I also got so much stuff wrong.
Wait, what? So he was negative before the end of the arc? So then it improved after the fact?
But that was the good stuff, Mark. No, wait a second.
And he said he got some stuff wrong. I wonder what he got
What
wrong.
did you get wrong? It's there. Why? Whatever. This video is bad and I really jumped the gun. While some of the things I discussed in this arc is still true, quite a bit of it isn't. Though I'm happy to keep this video up to show I have no problems being wrong and I fully intend to analyzing this arc once it is done. Where was he? It's okay, it's right when Boo came down.
That's barely into the arc.
No, wait, is it? No, it's Moro and Goku there talking. So it's okay. So it's right after. Cause yeah, it's this right here where they're fighting. So yeah, it's right after they get off the planet. It's after the good stuff that he goes. It's the good stuff that he goes. Nah, this bad. What are y'all doing? No, that's the good stuff.
I wonder what his problems were.
What are his problems?
Huh? Okay then.
Once I realized all of this, I made a promise to myself that I wouldn't talk about the Moro arc until it finished up completely. And while I was waiting in silence, you guys sent me thousands, and I mean thousands, of messages asking me to make a video on it, to rectify my mistakes and to own up to them. And so with this video, I'm not going to do just that. Today, I'm going to write to you all about why this is, for me, at this moment in time, the best Dragon Ball Super arc.
Dude, he's too good in the Discord. For me, at this moment,
For
that
me,
Ash-
hey, this is the best. Oh, it's not the best way for me. Okay, I can't say anything. That's
but
his
the
opinion,
series
but
isn't over yet. Why
at
would you?
this time.
Oh.
Okay. Well, no comment then.
At this moment in time, the best Dragon Ball Super arc in the entire series. Today, I'm reviewing the very first manga original story entitled The Moro Arc.
It is not entitled that. It's called the Galactic Prisoner arc.
That's fine. Oh man, they're gonna change stuff in the anime if they actually adapt this.
I don't think they're gonna adapt this.
You think?
I honestly don't.
You don't think?
I don't know how much of this is Toyotaro and how much is Toriyama. I don't know if Toriyama had any hand in it. Because it wasn't even anything really new. It was more the expansion and going back to things we already know.
But
whereas Granola is almost completely new bullshit.
But you do need Vegeta learning the spirit fission and instant transmission where he just goes, I'll never be able to do that again and I'm not going to learn how to do it ever again. Why not? It's a super useful technique. Whatever. But you also need Goku, the beginnings of him being able to switch on and off the Ultra Instinct, but then later it becomes like, that's not the one that I want to do. I need emotions to fight, even though I can use emotions in this, but whatever.
I mean, they could do that with the episode of training, just like, Goku, you've been training to do Ultra. They could do... They yada both Frieza and Broly in the manga. What do you mean?
But that was just recaps, really. You don't really need, just watch that stuff.
Hey, in 4 minutes, last we left our heroes, and since then they've been doing this. Blah blah.
Nah.
Easy.
No.
Easy.
The anime is where the money is. The manga, that's supplementary information. So they could just go, yeah, you saw the movies, whatever. But no, they're gonna be like, this is content that we have that we can stretch. This was what, like 15, 20 chapters? 30 episodes? That's 30 episodes they don't have to worry about while the manga's going up and up and up.
What do you mean? They still have to readapt the Broly movie. And Dragon Ball Superheroes.
They do. Superhero takes place after Granola.
Well, what? So there's still a lot to adapt before they even got to worry about an extra.
Hey, All this
8 to 10 episodes of Moro.
All this is making sure the manga got plenty of material for years and years and years to come.
They adapt basically at the same time, so it's as long as Toriyama is pushing notes to them.
On whatever letterhead that doesn't say Dragon Ball Super, because the mothers don't know what the show is called.
Again, why wasn't somebody just like, Toriyama,
no.
It's called Dragon Ball Super. Let's call it Dragon Ball Super, Hero. No, Dragon Ball Super, Superhero.
No. Oh, what? No.
This year has been a roller coaster when it comes to content, with me exploring a brand new story in One Piece, and as a result it's been literally 7 months since I've released or made anything Dragon Ball related, so I thought what better way to end the year than by returning to my roots in reviewing the latest from the world of Dragon Ball, and this one's rather special. The arc itself
You use that, twice. We get it. He's a goat man.
No, but you don't get it. He's a goat man.
started in November of 2018, and to be perfectly honest, by the time this one rolled around, I was sort of apprehensive to say the least. Toyotaro's Tournament of Power didn't exactly set my world on fire, and with this new arc, to have the slate wiped completely clean once again with another story out of nowhere, with little connection to the prior, I was really starting to feel tired of the product overall.
But isn't that Dragon Ball in general?
Yeah, it's not really...
It's mostly a bunch of, like, the most connected thing is Saiyan to Namek, and beyond that, it's a lot of...
Hey, here comes Boo. Hey, here comes these androids.
Hey, you beat Tao Pai Pai, but King Piccolo.
But you know, the androids connect back to Red Ribbon, but that's not really... That's just, hey... We're mentioning this thing. It doesn't really connect back, other than the fact that
the previous arc, because he just talked about the previous arc. Saiyan leads directly into Namek, and then it's full stop for Cell, and then it's full stop for Boo. A lot of Dragon Ball is full stop for blank.
Thus were the feelings surrounding my time with the manga for the months and chapters that trickled on into 2019 and ultimately 2020, until I arrived today with this video for you to say that this story is honestly way better than I thought it was, and easily my favorite in Dragon Ball Super's catalog. And what's more is that it actually boasts a pretty simple story. Goku and Vegeta get recruited.
So I wonder what made him go from this isn't very good in half of the story essentially to this is my favorite. What recontextualized? What changed? What from later changed to earlier stuff? What made it better? I really need to see that video.
By the Galactic Patrol to stop some bad guys, we're introduced to the Galactic Patrol prison where all the worst people in the universe are kept, except for Frieza. It's here we...
How can they catch Frieza?
Bums!
There's a lot of bums there.
Holy crap!
Who in the Galactic Patrol is gonna catch Frieza? Meros with his non-god powers would not touch Frieza.
And these are the worst people in the universe, and beefed up with Moro's energy. One of them is barely Krillin level.
It's not even strength. It's just more so the atrocities they've committed. Like, who is really strong? This is the stuff I don't get, though. Who caught that in Android? But he seems kind of weak if he doesn't have an absorbed power in him. Because Granola just kind of shoots a lot of the clones.
But he can stockpile them.
Yeah. But if he's not using them, he just seems kind of weak. That's all I'm saying. So if he runs out, what is the strength level of that guy? But... Again, these aren't necessarily super strong people. Like, the gang they first catch is not super strong. They have some weird abilities, but that's about it.
They essentially just seem to be criminals, because they're all just like, hey, treasure, not like
minors.
murderers or anything.
So,
and then we also this whole time throughout this arc, I'm just going, okay, back in Super they said that there are like 25 worlds in the universe that has life on it. And then more like, yeah, I've been eating countless worlds. I'm like, just dead worlds or worlds with people in them? Because we see at least 2 of them with people in them. The world where, you know, the Majin Vegeta arc.
Oh yeah,
where-
those people.
Yeah, those people. And then there was like a bunch of dinosaur people.
And a bunch of hedgehog people.
And a bunch of hedgehog people. So that's 3 off the list right there. And it looks like every world that you're going to, I don't think that you'd be like, hey, let's go to this world. Oh, ain't nobody here, so let's bounce. So why would Moro eat that world unless it's just the world itself has the energy? But is it even worth it if it doesn't have the life on there as well? The millions and billions of life forms on there that constitutes energy
I'm
and life.
sure
And
nature, just grass and stuff, has life, even if there's no creatures on it. So if there's a forested area or planet, I'm sure he can get something out of it.
sure, but is it even worth it when you consider like there are trillions of termites on Earth? And let's just say those trillions of termites equal one pretty strong guy. You don't even have that on a world that's just completely void of life.
Yeah, how many bugs are there, if there are any bugs on the forest planet and stuff like that?
Some bad guys. We're introduced to the Galactic Patrol prison where all the worst people in the universe are kept, except for Frieza. It's here we also are introduced to Moro, and after escaping from prison, he defeats Goku and Vegeta on Namek, forcing them to do their own independent training while he becomes a more powerful, younger fighter. Culminating in a massive battle on Earth and with Earth. I swear it'll make sense later. Until finally Goku and Vegeta, alongside the combined efforts of the planet's inhabitants, overpower and defeat Moro for good. It's a simple story, and honestly,
Why couldn't he just stay a magic man?
Why
did
not?
he have to be big, strong guy?
Why did it have to just come down to fisticuffs and punching and dumb hit man? I hate it.
The magic fight was great. It's just like, I'm using the planet's lava. You can't go through this, even though y'all fought in a volcano against Broly. Well, I guess that just doesn't count. When does ki matter for a shield?
And then just Mirrors is just back alive.
I resurrected him as a human.
Oh, okay.
Why?
So
Because he said he would give up his life.
not even Dragon Ball related. Just
Hey,
he here
Kai,
now.
why were you willing to give up your life for this guy?
For what purpose? Literally.
Guardian of our universe, why were you?
Feel good moment. I guess.
good execution when you go back over it and read it all at once. Peppered throughout, there's plenty of interesting choices that honestly remedied many of the transgressions of the prior story arcs that more than anything else made this a joy to read through in comparison. This manga by Toyotaro has been in serialization since 2015, releasing one chapter every month since. However, starting with Battle of Gods through Universe 6, Goku Black, and even the Tournament of Power, Akira Toriyama has written the story for the series, and a successor, for lack of a better term, has assumed the responsibility of bringing...
He has not written the story. He has written cliff notes.
Yeah.
It's the things that are constant throughout the anime and the manga. Those are things that he wrote.
The way Jiren acts, his basic backstory, Ultra Instinct itself, and it being a technique of angels and that angels can use and that type of thing.
Vegito comes, Zeno button, Goku loses the hit after unveiling a big transformation / form. Those are the things that he wrote.
Vegeta's new blue form, and it's
It's
a
up
lot
to
of cliff notes.
Toei and Toyotaro to fill in the blanks about what happens to get us up to that point.
It's a bunch of ideas given to a bunch of writers and going, all right, create the story based on these ideas. Incorporate every one of them. These 8 ideas. There's a tournament. It involves all universes. There's these specific story beats, and now write your story.
to life in the illustration department. And his name is Toyotaro. I've spoken about him in a number of different videos, and if you're interested, you can check them out too. But to be brief, going into this new arc over 2 years ago, I was extremely nervous for what was to come. Not just because I had tremendous issues with Toyotaro's
I don't understand the going into a manga arc and just going, I'm so nervous.
Yeah. I mean, why be nervous? If you didn't like what happened before, then chances are you're not going to like what's happening now, so why are you going to be nervous? If you did like what happened before, then the chances are you're going to like what happened now, so why are you nervous? If it was a flip-flopping of, I like this part, I don't like exactly this part. Is it really worth being nervous about? It's just like, well, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen.
I can understand excitement for the next arc to come. I can understand continued disappointment. I can understand that. Maybe that's where the nervousness derives from. I'm nervous that it's going to continue to be a bad story.
Illustrations in the past, but also because the production of this arc would be unlike anything we've received in the past. It would be the first story in...
I'll say, okay, no. You're just nervous about this guy writing his own story. No. What indication do you have for how he writes a story if you're saying that Toriyama penned all those stuff beforehand?
Dragon
The
Ball
best
Super.
that it can be is just this guy might not be good for Dragon Ball. He might not do the stuff that Dragon Ball needs, and he might do more character stuff. And then
But
yeah,
that's
we're
what
gonna
he
get the fight
needs.
stuff. But that's not what Dragon Ball needs.
That is what Dragon Ball needs. That's not what Dragon Ball fans want. There's a whole different...
Oh, that's not what
Dragon Ball
needs.
definitely needs more characters.
No, it's too late for that. That ship has sailed. If we all of a sudden get a NTN arc where it's just this introspective, what does martial arts mean to me? I'm gonna be like, where is this coming from?
Not an arc, but just like a within the arc. Just like,
No!
so it's just too late for his development.
Yeah, he's Dunsky.
But it's still time to develop new characters and do things there. And maybe not develop, but like explore some of the characters we already have. I would love
No,
to see.
I don't like Frieza. So me want to be strong to punch him.
I would love.
Do you see my Super Saiyan 3 hair? Let me cut that real quick.
I would love to see just 2 months in the life of Yamcha.
Yeah.
I'd love it. I don't need him to develop as a character.
Nope, just what he's doing.
What does
Apparently,
he do?
He's a bouncer. So he has a complex about being strong and stuff. Like in this arc, he just goes, it may not look like it, but I'm one of the 3 strongest people on this earth. So
Earthlings.
I want to see Earthlings. Yeah, the asterisk. But I would love to see him just somebody pull out a gun and him just sort of like fold it in half, and him bigging himself up and being all happy that he's just sort of like what happened with Joshu. Just that little 2 chapter little, hey, this is what this character is. This is what he's doing.
Like the owner of the club brings them to some like high profile client and just like, this is the guy I'm talking to you about. It's like there's an assault on my life. I just need to get to the airport and blah blah blah. And it's just Yamcha protecting some high-ranking piece of
Yeah, and he's a piece of maybe he goes against his morals or something, like he's selling children or something.
but money.
But money,
I'm a
but I'm
broke boy.
poor. What do I do? So he's just like, okay, I'll get him to the thing, and then I'll push the airplane a little bit to scare him or something.
Or I just said I get you on the plane. He gets his money, then he kicks the wheel of it,
Yeah.
or just breaks off a wing and just like, and then the police come and he just walks away counting his money.
Or he collects all the people that he captured and just like, I told you I'd get you here safely, and then he just unleashes those people back again on them. It's like, you're here safe. Maybe that was the appeal of that Yamcha little side manga that happened that I completely passed me by.
Sir, what are you talking about? You want to talk about passing you by? I didn't even have the information.
There was a manga not too long ago that was like a real life person in our world gets transported into the Dragon Ball world, but he takes over Yamcha.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and it just sort of passed me by. So maybe that's what the appeal is. But yeah, something like that'd be interesting to see. We don't really need any sort of like real development, no introspective. Just, this is what this dude is. This is what he's doing. This is who this character is. In case you didn't know, because we're not getting any Yamcha stuff.
Nope.
We're not getting any Tien stuff. It's like Tien is bad at insulting people. I'm like, is he? Is it? I gotta go back to Dragon Ball, because I'm sure once he broke Yamcha's leg, he had to do some smack talking.
Chancellor's just like, I hope I can still fight. What have you been doing?
What have you been doing? Tien got a school for training people. Have you not been
privy part of?
So yeah, and when they go up to the lookout, they're like, hey, Jaco goes, hey, gather everybody, we need some help. And Bulma just goes, Krillin was the only person not doing anything. I'm like, okay, so Yamcha's doing something.
Free time.
Yamcha's ain't got no free time. Tien doesn't, but Krillin does. Why don't they? Why does he?
He's a family man, and he has a job as a police officer.
Let's see a bit of that. That's the stuff that I would want. Not development per se, but characterization.
An exploration of their character. But even that itself is development, because development has been muddled to like change or, like you said, introspective. Anything that just further informs you of what a character is and makes them more three-dimensional is quote-unquote character development. So even if we learn a little bit more about who Krillin is as a person, that is technically development. And I would love to see some stuff like that.
But no. We're not gonna get that, because you can't imagine like 6 months. Each month is a chapter of a person. You got your Krillin, you got your Yamcha, you got Videl. Videl's apparently a martial arts teacher. That's interesting.
I couldn't tell.
Can we see that?
She just wife.
They said that in the movie. It was a small line.
I haven't seen that movie yet.
You haven't seen that movie yet?
When I first acquired it. It was no subs or anything. No dub. I just wanted it for the screenshots, and they were awful.
There's a one available that you can acquire that has subs.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah, and she's
I
a
just
martial arts
have
teacher.
so little interest in doing so.
I completely understand. You got what you needed to get, and you get.
I just want pan stuff, and the little bit I saw, I was like, this is fantastic, and I'll probably acquire it for the pan stuff. And then I'll stop the film.
Don't go back. You done saw it. That was it.
How?
That's not what we're here for. We're here for a big, strong-jawed orange Piccolo. That's what we're here for. We're not here for any of this life slice stuff.
I am.
No, but people aren't. Two people independently wish to be the strongest in the universe. And people are like, he's the strongest in the universe. How is Vegeta gonna be him? Ultra ego! That's what people want. Purple hair. White, dumb hair with red eyes.
When they said Universe Survival Arc 2, that fan art that's been passed around, where it's just a big haired Gohan in the different forms of Goku and Vegeta, and you got Broly and the people jizzing all over themselves.
Because that's what people want. People pretend like they don't want heroes, but they secretly want heroes. With the, here comes golden level 4 free cooler. Here he is. It's like, yeah, cooler. Here he is. He's golden now. Oh, here comes Frieza. He's got
Master Super Saiyan 4 Broly.
Yeah. Gogeta and Vegeta fighting Super Saiyan 4 Broly? Yeah. People pretend like they don't want that, but they want exactly that.
They want that with more story structure and for it to make at least 4% of sense.
Be the first story in Dragon Ball Super with the most direct involvement from Toyotaro. And while this story had some minor issues here and there, I sincerely think this is the best story in Dragon Ball Super. So, without delaying it any further, let's start at the very beginning.
I don't see how you can't say that that's just Beerus. God of Destruction, he's been asleep for all these years, so we never had to worry about him. Angels are not supposed to get involved with human affairs, so we don't hear about him.
Did the side characters do anything?
Yes, they did, and it was great.
Did Beerus and Whis get any character development?
Yes, they did, and it was great.
Oh.
It was so good. Just, I want to destroy your planet if you have a rock, paper, scissors competition with me, pig. And you got a little bit of oolong going on. What do I have to do it? Oh, he thinks that I'm going to throw scissors because I got these hooves, but I'm going to trick him. How can you not say that? Yeah, Super Saiyan God, we never got into a circle and did this. Yeah, Namekian Book of Legends. Yeah, Yamoshi. Whatever. But it's...
Which Book of Legend?
Oh, it's so... And nobody cares!
How are we Dragon Ball detractors and we care more than these people that are creating whole podcasts and channels around it? Why is nobody looking to the Namekian books, plural, of legend?
It doesn't behoove you to think about Dragon Ball.
Then why do we have this big old Dragon Ball review and analysis?
Because it behooves you to do so enough. But not too much. This is the trigger thing where it's like you care, but not too much. Once you get into, you got a certain moment of caring, and then once you step into that, it's just like, okay, this is weirdo stuff, y'all over here.
You're digging in your yard, but you can't hit the power line, otherwise you'll die.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just a little bit
more.
Ooh, I got a little shock. All right, let me just stop.
And what I thought of it. The introduction. The intro to this arc isn't particularly flashy, but one aspect I did think it nailed is its build-up to the character of Moro. Starting with a cold open to recruit the likes of Vegeta and Goku by the new addition to the cast of this arc in Meris, we as viewers get to see flashbacks to 10 million years ago with the likes of the Lord of Lords battling with Moro, along with introducing us to the expanded world of the Galactic Patrol. In terms of world building, I loved this aspect of these introductory...
I hate this aspect of world building, where it's just... We've always been here. This guy has always just been over here. The Lord of Lords just fought him, and he's super strong, and now he's Boo. So
after 10 million years, he just so happened at this very moment to get enough magic retrieved to break out of prison.
It's not good world building, because it's just this thing happened 10 million years ago, and the Galactic Patrolmen are people who were holding him, and now he's out. How is this world building? What does this tell us about the world?
He sealed his magic, and then it goes.
But no, just now he's strong enough to get out, and I guess he just broke through those gates, and nobody stopped him or anything.
Like, once his magic is good, shouldn't he just be able to absorb the guards?
Shouldn't they have felt something? Can any of them sense energy?
So his magic was sealed, but they still had no way to kill him?
Because nobody was strong enough. Because these are a bunch of mooks.
Jaco knows Goku and Vegeta.
You would think that he would go, hey, can you nip on over here and take care of this real quick?
Because even during the fight, they asked several times, yo, are we locking him up or kill? Oh, no, kill him. If you can, go ahead. We just never had anybody strong enough to do so.
Jaco saw Boo.
Yeah, what's your point? What's your point?
He's Boo.
And?
He saw all of them fight in the tournament.
And?
Why didn't they?
What's your point?
And he's little baby Moro. If it wasn't for the absorption, he would have been clapped cheeks by Goku and Vegeta. Oh my god, what great world building.
Yeah, but we got more information of world. Anything that you add into the world is world building. It doesn't necessarily make it great. I would love to know why Mark thinks this is great world building. Or, no, he just said he loves it. Does he think it's good?
Let's hear it.
World of the Galactic Patrol. In terms of world building, I loved this aspect of these introductory chapters as they further expand the scope of Universe itself. The new dynamics and...
So he clearly said Universe 6, but it expands the dynamics of Universe 7.
Universe scratch me.
In what way? There was 10 million years ago, there was this evil guy that we captured, and now he is free. How does this expand the dynamics of the universe?
I mean, technically, wouldn't anything expand the dynamics of the universe?
If that's what we're going by, we need to talk about if it's good or not. Not just it just did it.
Like, how does Broly not expand the dynamics of the universe? There's savage planets, and there could potentially be other Saiyans out there if Broly got out. How does it not expand the dynamic of the universe?
through the ranks and day-to-day tasks of the Galactic Patrol made for scenes I was quite excited to see more of, specifically those concerning Jaco, because while reading One Piece over the last year, I also took the time to blitz through Jaco's manga. And if you haven't seen it, it's honestly a delight. It's one of the more recent works from Akira Toriyama from a paneling and illustration point of view too. And thanks to that short story...
Bulma always just had a sister that lived on Earth that she never mentioned one single time.
Oh, tights, absolutely.
It's always been there. The parents has never mentioned her. When Boo was destroying the planet, she was never like, but my sister, though.
Hey, but world building. They've expanded the world by giving Bulma a
She's
big
just
sis.
always been here.
Hi.
And it's fine.
And I'm here too.
That's what it just is.
I was able to really enjoy Jaco a lot more as a character in this tale when I revisited it for this video specifically.
I didn't need to.
Yeah, Jaco's a great
Jaco's
character. You can do that within the pages of your manga, and Toyotaro did that.
Yeah.
Just
Just him
gonna call him
going.
Taro.
Just him going. Isn't the Galactic King still naked? No, he's got his crown on, so he's not naked. Do you think that these are pants?
That's great stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of characters, a criticism I had right up until the death of Maris in the manga was that I really didn't feel connected to him as a character. However, now having gone back over everything, I can happily say that I was wrong. Not only does he get characterized with this interesting air of mystery surrounding his person early on, but he is all over this story. From the very first chapter...
There's a lot of them.
He is all
That's-
over this story.
That's all it takes,
But
Mark.
what more can you say about him than he has a strong sense of justice and he loves this universe? Not too much. And it's pretty clear once you see his skin tone and his hair and he's moving around like Goku was, and it's just like, he hit us and I couldn't hit him. What's going on? It's pretty clear that he's just an angel. There wasn't any mystery, even back then, where I was just sort of peeking my head in every now and again on Dragon Ball Super. I saw him, I was like, okay, this is an angel. Didn't even need to see the color spread. Saw what happened where he just goes, okay, so this dude that we can't really sense, and he's zip-zapping around us. What's going on here? Is he just some super strong guy that we've never heard of, which isn't satisfying, or is he just an angel?
Which is satisfying?
Nah.
It's more satisfying.
It's more satisfying than nothing.
An angel whose mission is to absorb the good and the evil of the world to impart his impartialism.
Angel in training. Bing, bang, boom.
But he is all over this story. From the very first chapter, he is the inciting incident that sparks the activities and introduces the heroes to the rest of the main story's world. But more on Maris a little later. Needless to say, it's time to dive into some of the major conflicts of the arc as we follow Moro having escaped from prison with his eyes set on Namek. The Namek section. One of my larger criticisms of this series has been their implementation of the other characters like Piccolo, or perhaps more obviously...
Don't tell me that don't tell me that the vast majority of them was done well here. Because right here, he just goes, I can't communicate with anybody on Namek. And then they just goes, well, they are kind of far out. So who knows if we can even do that. It's like, so you didn't try before and you're just trying now? And it's like, or all them ones that can communicate telepathically are just dead. So you just have to assume that they just never tried before. I hated this moment.
The only thing I could think of is that he got a general feel of them through their telepathic waves, and he no longer felt that. So then he tried to communicate, and it did not work. That's the only chance I'm giving this part.
Vegeta. It feels to me at
Yeah,
least that
Vegeta! Characterization! He was sad about killing them Namekians. You know, shut up with that! No!
But was it?
I don't believe that he's sad because...
He wants to atone for all of
For
his
what?
atrocities.
For what? Does he feel bad about it? If he does, why does he feel bad about it? What was the impetus of him being, I feel bad about him? Him spending time on Earth? Was that it? Why was he spending time on Earth? Because he fell in love. Why did he fall in love? Because Bulma was just there. What is this?
A
People just go
woman.
development, but they don't think about what this means. Vegeta's such a nice person. Why? Just because he is. Because Earth is just cool. Because he has a kid. Muff. He cried over Trunks. Adult Trunks getting shot in the stomach. Crying over that, like, went to go avenge him. And then later with Trunks, he just goes, I haven't held you since you were a baby. Why not?
And not even that. He went, I gotta get my evil back so I can be strong again. But so he had 7 years with Bulma and Trunks and still was like, my power and evil though.
No, but he's a good guy.
But now, a year and a half later, it's just like, nah, we're good.
He's such a good guy. He's trying to atone for his... Why? Does he feel bad about it? And if so, why does he feel bad about it? Because it's a bad thing to do? Simply that? Oh, don't sit there and act like this Vegeta stuff is anything. Not even anything good. It's anything. It's built on a house of cards, straw, matches. It flounders once you just go, why does he feel sad? Oh, because it was a bad thing to do. He was raised and indoctrinated to feel that way. Should he really feel bad about it? Or he's like, I had no control over that. I had no other way. I didn't know anything else in my life. Would he really feel bad about that?
Hey, this is a real bad ratio.
It's just this Dragon Ball praise. It's just this surface level bullcrap.
Because it's so antithetical to what Dragon Ball represents. Because there's no character getting stuff like Vegeta.
No.
Nobody in Dragon Ball is getting... Piccolo was one and done. His switch flipped and he's done forever.
He's cool. Even to the point where in the Android saga, he just goes, I'm not helping you guys. I'm just protecting the world so I can take it over one day. And he flies off and Krill's just like, that was just an act.
That's that bullshit.
Yeah, that's just straight bullshit. Nobody's getting this. Even in this arc, Piccolo was just like, you got that effect on people. You just turn them good, Goku, like me. And that was it.
After having gone through all of Super, Toei, Akira Toriyama, and Toyotaro never really knew what to do with Vegeta's character itself, forcing him to relive these same tired routines we've seen plenty of in the original series. In one respect, I can understand.
And he does it here too. He goes, I'll beat you, Moro. I'll avenge you, Namekians, and I'll surpass you, Kakarot.
It never stops.
It's the same stuff. Don't pretend like it isn't. Him, when he was training on Yardrat, he was just like, yeah, me and Goku are on completely different levels. That's why I'm learning this so fast. He's not over this. He's never going to be over this. Because once he does get over this, what is he?
He got that at the end of Z, and then it was just like, no!
He got that in GT where he just goes, I'm not even trying to worry about Goku anymore. I'm just trying to see where my limits are.
But people hated GT. And we can't have that not rivalry conflict of Vegeta trying to surpass Goku if we're doing a whole new series. Going in a new direction? No, sir. Retread the same ground. But
get him back in that second armor.
He feels bad about the Namekians.
Yep, he sure does.
And that's better.
From the very moment Vegeta was introduced up until the very end of the series in Dragon Ball Z, he was designed to fulfill a very specific purpose, to undergo a change arc, to cause conflict and tension within the story as a result of that growth, and to be honest, he was incredibly effective in that role.
No, he was not. Absolutely not. When it was at the end of the Boo arc, and it was just like, I wish all the good people came back to life, and he just lost his halo, and he goes, hey, I guess you're a good person.
It don't work like that.
Just saying that don't mean nothing.
You just killed like 80 people.
In the there's a very good AMV that I have no idea what that AMV is, and I never will know. Say Scar once I'm finished with this. Scar. I don't remember what it was, but at the end of the Boo arc where Dende is healing Vegeta, he looks up at Dende, and then they flash over to when he kicked Dende. and then they flash back to Vegeta. And I'm like, that's a good little thing here in this AMV that is not intended in the series, but it's a good little thing in this AMV. It'd have been something there if he went apologies for before. Show any sort of remorse there. But he didn't. I just have to be like, I guess he felt sorry because of this AMV that I watched some 6 years ago.
Am I supposed to mention Scar
Yeah,
now?
yeah. When Moro, mention Super Namekian after this. When Moro puts his
This is
hand,
what I am now.
when Moro just puts his hand through Goku's chest and big old hole through his chest. For the rest of the arc, he just got a scar on his chest. Why?
Because it wasn't fully healed.
Why didn't Vegeta have a hole in his stomach from Namek?
Because it was fully healed.
Well, why was that fully healed?
Because he had the energy to do so. Don't forget, his energy was stolen a little bit, so he didn't have time to fully heal him.
No,
Yeah, he didn't
that's
have
not
the
how
energy.
that works.
He didn't have the energy to fully heal him because his energy was taken by Moro as well.
Okay, how about this? In the Granola arc, the old Namekian just goes, I ain't all that good at healing. I'll do what I can. And they're all beaten up. They're all scarred up. They don't have any scars left over.
Yeah, because he was good enough.
No, he said he wasn't.
He didn't know his limits.
Oh, you bush.
surpassed-
It's bush.
Super Namekian.
Super Namekian. This Super Namekian just comes up. Oh, once we combine each other and all this stuff, we're gonna be unbeatable. So you just believe that. Whatever. He gets a hole straight through him and he just dies. Piccolo, he got blasted through the chest, same place, by Cell and thrown into the water. But he lives? But the Super Namekian instantly dies when the Namekians are
the power of a
predicated on
god.
their muff and healing?
He had the power of a god in him with Kami.
No! He's only a god because he has that title, not because he has any sort of godly energy.
No, because remember, Dende was like, I just now started getting my god
Oh,
stuff.
they did.
Yeah, so he
No!
had
No! Their muffs can heal. Don't act like they can't.
I'm trying to explain something and somebody just does not want the information. That's
Well,
all.
maybe that is because King Piccolo did just get sliced, rendered through by Goku, and he just dies. But he exploded, didn't he?
I think so.
It's dumb. It sucks.
Hey, why couldn't Moro reattach that arm? Because the thing was, once the orbs broke, he could no longer summon those abilities. And then all of his orbs were broke, and then he could just reattach his arm. Can the Namekians reattach their arms? Because whose ability would that be?
No, they cannot.
So why was he able to just reattach?
Magic.
I guess it was just magic.
I guess so.
Their favorite characters are from Dragon Ball Z, and I'd wager a sizable chunk of folks will choose Vegeta very, very early.
Hey, do you know why? Because he's one of the only characters that matter.
He's cool and strong, and he gets to do stuff.
He was a bad boy that changed.
and he gets to do stuff.
Who gives a about best character Gohan? He not fighting.
Yo, they do now. Gohan's back, baby. Did you see that Toriyama interview where he just like, yeah, finally Piccolo
You mean
and
Gohan Beast?
finally Gohan and Piccolo are on the level of Goku and Vegeta. So they're just on the level of these gods because of a transformation and a wish.
Wouldn't Gohan be a sizable bit stronger since Piccolo got pieced up by Cell, whereas Gohan was just with the greatest of ease putting work to him?
Gohan goes, dang, not even Dad or Vegeta could beat Cell Max. But I
If
put
they
the
were
hands
here,
to him.
they might not have survived this.
But Gohan did. So we either have to go, Gohan's just lying and he doesn't know the full depth of their strength because he can't sense God Ki, or he's a mouthpiece for the author and just going, yeah, Gohan's on this level now.
yeah,
Expect
even
years
after
of
that,
big hair beast.
I think it was might even been Toriyama who was just like, yeah, Gohan's the strongest now.
It's terrible. You can't just say that he is and just have him be.
Hey, I'm
You can't
mad, and now here's my newest form for X reason.
And it's so broken, this power scale. And power scaling in superhero income, man. Piccolo goes, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 are on the level of Goku and Vegeta. It's like, so they're just making on the level of Goku and Vegeta raw, whatever. So he can't beat him in his Ultra form. But once he goes orange, he one-shots one of them. But then Cell, he can't be beaten by Goku and Vegeta. But somebody on the level stronger than a Goku and Vegeta, who is Piccolo, Orange Piccolo, just gets handled by Cell. And then Gohan. So is it Gohan, Cell, Piccolo, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 who are Goku and Vegeta level? Are we just supposed to accept this dumb movie out of nowhere, just completely upended everything and just going, all this God training meaningless?
Hey,
because this little boy is angry.
What do you mean? 17 is on the level of Goku and Vegeta.
Jesus! Not according to this arc. He getting baby moded next to 18. Who's he so much stronger than? Goku and Gohan and Piccolo are fighting Moro, and 17 and 18 are back there just going, oh man, he piecing us up.
He ain't even taking our energy.
You stronger than Piccolo at least. Factually. Don't tell me 2 months of training gets him up to blue level. Don't tell me that. I know you're not supposed to care about this power scale and stuff. I know I'm not supposed to care about this power scale.
But when it's so dumb, you can't help but
when
care.
Mars is just doing stuff.
And Dragon Ball is a series predicated on just doing stuff.
Moro does a double punches left and right to Piccolo and Gohan. I have to assume he's using the same amount of force. It's enough to knock down Gohan and Piccolo at the same time, but not kill Piccolo, who is factually so much weaker than Gohan. Why not? Whatever. Oh, this Dragon Ball stuff is awful, but you're not supposed to think about it. You're just supposed to see the big Susanoo and just clap. Because something's happening that's cool. No!
Hey, Vegeta's here. He's getting development. He went to Yard Dragon. He could do instant transmission once in his life for some reason. I have no interest in pilfering your signature move.
It's such
Kakarot.
a useful move.
I'm never gonna. I probably can't ever use it again.
Looks at the camera.
How, Vegeta? How does that work? How do you just not know the technique you just used? How does that work, sir?
When they were, the last thing before we got to go back to this, when they were in space and they're in space and they're fighting and then they're just like,
who technically in the atmosphere?
Shut up! No! But then Boo grabs, Lord grabs Moro and just goes, alright, teleport back to the planet. He teleports back to the planet. There's no life on the planet. What did he lock on to the instant transmission?
The grass.
No! No!
Oh, the Yard Rat said they could end the transmission to anywhere they've been before.
They did say that.
Yep.
Accepted.
Huh. But then, why couldn't Goku teleport on Earth until Krillin raised his power level, even though he felt their power levels constantly dropping? He
didn't fully learn the training. He didn't master the training. He didn't finish the training. He wasn't good enough at the training. That guy just became the
then why
master.
did Vegeta need to do it? He needed to lock on the Goku.
It's a Yard Rat exclusive thing, except for when the Lord of Lords.
Oh, okay.
Because he's the Lord of Lords.
Okay.
Who's factually weaker than Goku, but he has magic.
He controls the ki better.
Sure.
Ki control.
Whatever.
How did he not know the diffusion thing?
The diffusion thing? Oh, the fourth spirit fission?
Yeah.
That's a Yard Dragon exclusive technique, sorry.
But he knows the instant transmission.
Yes, he does. That's not a Yard Dragon exclusive technique.
So
that is a technique that anybody can learn if you know how to do
but
it.
anybody can learn. Why isn't Vegeta factually stronger than Goku? Now
Why?
that he's combined his spirit control boards, because he barely blasts. He was like, what the was that?
Why doesn't he go back to fit? Why don't they all just go back there since they have a bunch of these wacky techniques? Why not just go back there and just like learn?
Give it to the humans.
To have them do something instead of just fighting these mooks. Have them all in the background just punching the earth and just doing a little something. Instead of just, hey, I'm fighting this guy with a hat. Wow. Good job,
This
Krillin.
should have just been a because reasons.
Dude, it was horrible.
on. And it's easy to see why. But now that his character's initial purpose, for lack of a better term, has been satisfied, what now? Well, the obvious answer would be to give him a new goal, but that's easier said than done. You can't just give him anything to do. It needs to be rooted in his character, or more specifically, his history.
What is the height of a Saiyan?
Hey, that's a good idea. How far can we go?
I'm the king now.
Are you sitting here and telling me that in this arc, Gohan and Piccolo weren't just given something to do, not rooted in their character or anything? They're just like, we're here, so we fight. But Vegeta, he has to have something to do that's rooted in his character and stuff. Piccolo completed his arc, and he's doing nothing. But Vegeta finishes his arc, and he has to do something now. Favoritism out this world.
Of course, because he's the number 2 strong.
Get him back in that armor.
It runs the risk of feeling extremely artificial, and that's the last thing you want with a character that feels so real. So at the very least, I can empathize with this.
He's a legit murderer
Yes.
who did not care,
Completely unsympathetic.
who got pussy whooped into being somewhat of a good guy. Let's just say a private detective at this point.
He in this arc he goes, spirit fusions, taking all this power, that's all bullshit. I'm just here for a really good fight. But then when it's just like, hey, Vegeta, come on over here and fight a lot of people in this tournament, he goes, nah, Bulma's pregnant and about to give birth. What happened to the fight?
This is techniques and all this bullshit. When it comes to a Saiyan, eventually these things always just end up whoever's got the biggest muscles. Brute strength is the end all be all.
I would have preferred to not talk about this, so I cursed Gavin.
struggles of the writing staff at Toei and Akira Toriyama at large. They've clearly been dealing with a lot. However, thankfully, this arc changed all of that and not only gave Vegeta a brand new experience for us to see him deal with, but it was also rooted in his character's history. We've been there for all of Vegeta's transgressions after the events of the Saiyan saga. We know everything he got up to during that time period on Namek and thereafter. And so with now revisiting Namek for the very first time since becoming a more complete character, we not only see Vegeta feel shame for having committed the things he's done, not only act in a positive way to enact change, but to also, without flinching, accept and own up to his past, acknowledging that it's something he needs to atone for, leading to some of the most compelling motivations in all of Dragon Ball Super that I've seen, culminating in him.
Of course, because what are other motivations?
What?
Big fight, man? You're not an actual god Saiyan, so you shouldn't be even near me?
Uh-oh, here comes evil Goku. And again, it's so artificial because we just have to accept that he's a good guy now and he just feels bad now.
If he truly felt bad, why didn't he go to Namek before now? Why wouldn't he go there and go, I did y'all such harm?
Why did he not have a conversation with Dende, somebody who he actually harmed? We just have to accept, yeah, he feel real sad about it. Now, no, I don't just accept this just because he's a good guy now, because he's been on Earth, and Earth automatically makes you a good guy because it's peaceful, because he has a wife that he for some reason got together with.
She was a strong woman and Saiyans are drawn to them.
No, don't tell me that in Super. Because once they stop being strong, surely you gotta stop being attracted to them. Get out of here, Videl. You are a woman now.
Half Saiyan. Hey, yeah, she was a strong, independent woman with attitude. And she was awesome.
Was past tense.
Legit best girl, y'all.
Past
And what was done to her is the worst character
Criminal.
assassination in all of Dragon Ball.
All these mothers talking about sexism. We're not hitting up Videl like she had a character and she's literally nothing now. Come on now, y'all.
Give me more sassy Videl, please.
Oh my goodness, look, Vegeta saved the Namekians instead of killing the Namekians. Look, character growth, development, owning up to his past.
Suck balls.
Suck nuts!
Diving in before Goku to save a small Namekian boy called Eska. We've seen the character of Vegeta accept love into his life before, to accept friendship, and to fight for those people time and time again. It doesn't need to be brought to the forefront like a pivotal moment.
Friendship?
Again?
What friendship? Goku, I will accept a friendly rivalry. Tien, Yamcha, Krillin, Piccolo, Dende, Mr. Popo, Goten, Gohan.
We don't know how many parties.
Hit?
We don't know how many parties Bulma throws. There could be all types of friendships.
Okay, so it's friendships that we're not seeing, and we're celebrating things that we don't see, and we have to assume it's just there. Great.
The story tells us.
Oh, Vegeta's so great because he's developed friendships off screens that we don't see him fostering or talking to anybody.
It's gonna be like in Naruto with the earring. Krillin's gonna be in the ground. He's just like, "Hey, remember when?" No,
not my bro, Krillin.
We were supposed to go to Pachinko.
Has he had a conversation with 18? Wouldn't that be interesting to just go, yeah, I'm big stronger than you now. I
You
remember all
pieced
that.
me up.
But I'm not holding no grudges. Yeah, you cool. Wouldn't that be interesting? No.
There's so many former enemies and fighters that it would be way great to just be like the tension. Let's
address the tension. Man.
How is 18 and Krillin always broke? Cause she's like, if we're getting 10 million yen to fight here, that's 100K.
Zenny.
Oh, the Zenny, whatever.
We don't know the conversion rate.
I think it's a complete conversion rate.
Alrighty then.
100K essentially. She got I think 50 or 500K for losing a Hercule. Where's this money?
Krillin has a job. They have one child.
In a small house.
She eats, but I don't know if she needs to eat. Because I remember at the very end of this, she was eating some noodles. I was like, does she eat? Can she eat? Is that sustenance? Because
I can't imagine she doesn't eat if she can bear children.
Food is calories. Calories is energy, but they don't need energy.
But it's like a cellular energy as opposed to whatever chi/ki is.
I'm sure you could sustain yourself off of ki.
I mean, a sense of being supposed to fill you up for 10 days.
But that's not what it does. Not no more. That was Dragon Ball. Oh, the bean stuff. The first half is good when they're fighting him. But he's just like, oh man, I can't instant transmission. I'm like, okay, Vegeta, give him your energy enough to instant transmission
What
to
do
Earth.
you mean?
Get him a sense
We
of
can't
being.
give people energy.
Yes, you can.
You need Vegeta's special technique to start giving people
But they
energy.
did it on Namek.
No. Special energy.
They did it on Namek.
Yeah,
Piccolo
in this
said, hey,
arc.
y'all two, give me your energy, but not too much because you might have to start scrapping.
I don't remember all that. We need you guys to come over here, and I need to use my new technique to give Goku energy. That's all this is. That's all this is. How convenient for the Lord of Lords to wake up and find Oob. And just know that Oob is the reincarnation of Boo. I guess because they're kindred spirits.
Muff would sleep for all that time, and then Jaco just goes, I need to go get Boo. And he gets Boo, and Boo wakes up and does what needs to be done. And it's enough that energy, whatever level that energy is, given from Oob, because he wasn't tired after.
No,
he had a single bead
what
of
did I
sweat.
do?
He had a bead of sweat while Moro was actively draining the planet of all of his life. He had a single bead of sweat, and all of that was enough, combined with everybody else, to beef up Goku enough to do the big Susanoo and the big punch.
It wouldn't even combine with everyone else because I think he turned his hair black again.
It
after
was.
that. So it was only that energy, really.
Cheeks.
Moment for his character anymore. He's grown past it. And
No, he hasn't. We've been told that he grew past it. We don't see him developing past that.
Hey,
Don't
Vegeta,
act like we do.
Are you gonna kill us again? No. Turn to camera. I've changed. And that's what we get. Tail don't show.
Man, no.
Moro Arc, this scene with Vegeta interacting with the surviving Namekians, fighting on behalf of them, and losing, really felt like something that was destined to take place in the original series. Nothing about it felt artificial. It's easily one of my favorite aspects of the story. With these specific...
Nothing about it felt artificial.
Not an aspect of it.
Nothing
Hey,
about
Mark, how did we get here? How did we get to Vegeta wanting to protect Namekians?
Man, I would just love to ask him, why is Vegeta a good guy? Well, because Earth made him change.
No, he didn't.
No.
Because at the end of Z, he was a piece of he went Majin just to fight Goku and killed a bunch of people. And it took, what, a week later? It's just like, I guess you're a good guy because your halo's gone.
He did not hold his 8-year-old son since he was a baby. Don't tell me he's a good guy. As he's begrudgingly folded arms going on this amusement park date that he promised his child to
After
go
punching
on.
him in the face.
He promised, and he's sitting there a salt monster. What's the line of caring, of being a good character? Is he secretly having fun, but he can't outwardly show it because he has to be the tough, gruff guy? Or is he just not having fun?
It's technically not even until Super you truly get that Vegeta might be a good guy now. Because Z did not show this.
No, it didn't. It pretended like it did. And now Super is reaping the benefits of that pretending like it did.
motivating factors being informed by the past and influencing the past.
Shut
Vegeta
up! Oh, I knew he would harp on this. As I was reading it, it was so inconsequential to me that I completely forgot about it when I read it the first time. Coming back to it the second time, I'm like, crap. This Namekian stuff is gonna get hit hard by Mark. He gonna eat this up. And I'm not here for it. I'm not here for just accepting this bush. No. He feels sorry. He just does. He's done nothing. He's done nothing to atone for his sins up until this point. He's done no philanthropy with his huge amount of power. He's done no charity work with his wealth. Nothing. But now here's this opportunity to help Namekians, and he's doing it because he feels sorry for all. What about all the people that you give whole planets that you subjugated? Nothing? No feeling sorry about them. It's these people that you feel sorry for. As they were all brought back to life. So no harm, no foul.
Why would there be harm or foul?
Don't just slurp this up like this is something. I can't stand this crap. I'm sitting there formulating my arguments as I'm reading this like Marcus go and throw a bendy straw, just drink all this up. And no, you can't just accept that this mother is good now. And he's sorry for all this that he's done, specifically to these people.
But the pages tell me he is.
takes in this story. This desire to pay this debt he owes to this people, this noble act to him, is the very trait that leads him down the road to train with the Yardratians later on their behalf. This new maturity specifically makes him not only a stronger person mentally, but physically, as we soon will find out. It's also during this sequence we learn more about Moro as a character, but more specifically how he fights. And boy did this impress me in a major way. Ignoring the fact that his magic is visually stunning and unlike anything we've seen from Dragon Ball in the past, Moro's set of powers
He's affecting the environment. It's already been shown that Vegeta, Goku, and Frieza have telekinesis, so they can in turn just pull out lava from the earth. There's nothing saying that they can't.
Level.
I can't say that they can't to this level.
Moro better.
I can't say that they.
So impressive. They fought in lava in Dragon Ball Super Broly, but here's lava, and look at it surrounding him.
Depending on the canonicity of this, Goku was thrown into lava in the Frieza fight.
Mm-hmm.
Gohan came back. I know that part is the filler part, and then Goku came out of the lava. I don't know if he got thrown into the lava in the manga or not, but I just know that in the anime he has been shown to be able to survive lava.
is the perfect remedy to one of the biggest issues I had with Dragon Ball and maybe even Shonen at large. What I am specifically talking about is something called power creep. You see, eventually after the Frieza saga, the strength of the character started to leave the realms of imagination and onto stages that literally encompass the worlds of gods fighting.
Hey, that's his fault.
Yes. And you say Shonen at large, you read One Piece. Again, you sit there and tell me that Lucci is stronger than Eneru. You tell me that, Mark. He's not. The argument could be made.
Moria is stronger than Eneru.
You tell me that. In Caesar Clown, Hody Jones. You tell me that, Mark.
Every subsequent challenge met by Goku and the gang, as a result, needed to be met by stronger and more imposing villains than they last encountered.
Super. Beerus is stronger than Frieza. Beerus is stronger than Hit.
Jiren. Zamasu.
It's broken.
Beerus is where they need to get to. And that was the first dude.
Worthwhile. It's one of the weakest aspects of long-running shonen. If it's not planned in advance, it can seem contrived that there's always someone randomly stronger to fight against, and that can get tiring as
No, if there's a super strong dude at the end, you know where you need to go to.
That is reasonable that there's a super strong guy over there. Again, Mark read One Piece. There is a reason why Kaido isn't stomping around on the East Blue. There's a reason why there's weak people and then he goes over to the stronger and stronger people when he goes into the Grand Line. It's not contrived at all. In Dragon Ball, it absolutely is. But that's a Dragon Ball problem. You like Dragon Ball. What are we doing here? I mean, you just have to accept this in Dragon Ball. Why are you complaining about it now? Why is the problem now that it's not doing the one thing that it's been doing for some 30 years?
What shonen does he consume?
He's consumed One Piece, definitely. He has consumed Naruto, definitely. I don't know if he has consumed Naruto when he watched this. What did he watch when he watched this?
I don't know if he's done Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho.
No, he has not watched Bleach.
So, Naruto.
So Naruto, because that was 5 months ago.
Because it feels like he might have had 6 series under his belt as far as shonen.
So he had already gotten past One Piece. And then his very next thing was JoJo. So he had not read JoJo, he had not read Hunter x Hunter, he had not read Naruto.
So he basically had Dragon Ball and One Piece as far as we know?
And My Hero. But My Hero does not do that.
Yeah, I can't say... Because they fought Shigaraki in them, like, their second big fight. Yeah. And I can't say Stain is stronger than them.
So yeah, we don't know exactly what he read before that. All we know really is Dragon Ball and definitely My Hero because he has made 2 My Hero videos. And
I get really tired of people going, this is an issue in all of shonen, this is an issue in manga, this is an issue in blank, blank, blank. And you got like 20 series you've read.
Yeah.
Your sample size is so small, and most of the time you only consume the biggest and most popular series. That is there a reason why the casual audience might gravitate from one series to the next if they do roughly the same things as something else? Who the f is reading We Never Learn? Who the f reading? I read it.
usually results in
It is a shonen, by the way.
fight against, and that can get
Flame of Rekka, and I am Salt Monster about that. It's so good.
Okay, my question is, if people ever got that truly great jump fighting game, how many characters would they actually be hyped for?
Seriously. Because if you look at something like J-Stars...
Victory Versus.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, here's this guy with a gun. Oh, I know of Saint Seiya. Here's 8 One Piece characters.
I love Madaka Box. I was geeked about that. Who's bumping
The
Madaka?
Muffs put Sket Dance in there as an assist, and I was happy about that.
You probably get like 6 series you're really geeked about.
And then you have to just go, oh man, they didn't put this character in, and they put this character in. And you're like,
firing, as it usually results in Goku needing to punch him hard to fix it. Which this Moro arc has a lot of, but what makes it different is that unlike the prior arcs where Goku and Vegeta's strength make it remarkably unbelievable that they could ever find someone to challenge their godly powers, it's that very energy, that strength they've cultivated to make Moro so dangerous because just by being around him, he absorbs their strength, turning what
Sure.
was a glaring
Boy.
weakness.
that's the good part. But then it just becomes, here come the big punch.
Here comes the big punch.
Here comes, oh, I'm gonna use this technique that I learned specifically to beat you from these people that luckily had this technique specifically to beat you, and then I'm gonna do the big punch. That it's not really any sort of like concentration thing in there. He just starts punching them, and it's working. I'm like, he's getting punched as well, and it's still working. So it's just it just works.
Todd Howard.
Of the series into a strength for the villain, and I thought that was brilliant, leaving Goku and Vegeta totally.
I absorb energy. We had the androids that did this.
Yes.
This what's the difference except he doesn't need to touch them?
Yeah, that's really just it.
And completely drained of energy on their first outing, on the verge of death, leaving Moro to wreak havoc on the rest of the Namekian people as they recover, building him up as this
And they were recovering for 3 days, and he got 3 Dragon Balls.
3 more. I think he had 4 altogether. No. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he only got 3.
That planet ain't all that big.
Oh, yeah. I think they lapped it in like 40 minutes.
And you can sense where there's groups of Namekians. You can sense that. You can travel to them, and it's taken 3 days to get to just not do several wishes. Come on now. And then it just, oh, he can sense where the balls are now.
Right on time.
Dude. And this is the good part. With this super Namekian piece of bum like he's somebody. No.
was a monster of a foe, complete with a fresh new design unlike anything in the series. No transformations here, folks. Just tons of...
Whoops. Oops. Oopsie. Oh no.
Visual indicators that this Eater of Worlds, Moro, is reaching a new level of strength with each passing second. Forcing Goku and Vegeta to retreat, they lost. And now, they need to do something about it.
They didn't retreat, they were knocked out, and then Moro just went, they're gonna die on their own, so I'm not gonna finish them off.
Oh, they're still breathing. Yep, time to beat the shit out of... Oh, that's when they retreated, though. Or did Moro retreat?
No, they retreated. Well, they both simultaneously retreated, because Moro retreated, and then he gave them their energy, and then they started fighting those people, and then they retreated. So it was a double tactical retreat.
Arc. Having spent most of this year covering a story that didn't have a focus on training in general, I sincerely found it refreshing watching Goku and Vegeta lick their wounds after the events of Namek and go on their own separate ways to train. For me, these training arcs, while offering some nice training sequences, demonstrate the growth of each character.
Please tell me what Goku did, please.
He just trained. He just fought. And then he's just stronger because he fought. Just fighting means stronger. So much stronger that it's noted that he's so much stronger by Moro.
I think by far and away the most interesting of these has to be Vegeta's training on Yardrat. On top of this...
Of course, the other one's just fighting! He's trying to control the key and learn all new techniques, and Goku's just a punchy kicky.
You gotta learn Ultra Instinct. Okay.
It's been 6 months, and you couldn't get the full master, but you can get, like, the pseudo-master of it, and on you go.
Oh, also I have a hyperbolic time chamber right here. It's not as good as the other one, for some reason, but it's identical to it. And we can stay in as long as we need to. For what... Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
Why wasn't it as good?
Why?
Can the angels just create them as they see fit? And is it like if it's newly formed, the time dilation is different?
No, because they blew up the hyperbolic time chamber, and no, I'm mixing up the sequence of events. Vegeta blew it up to get out of it once he was in it to fight Goku Black. I don't think they went back into it.
But they reopened the door after Piccolo destroyed it.
Cheeks.
And then, didn't they improve it so there was no longer a limit?
Because you can just do that, and they just didn't do that before because hyperbolic time chamber can only fit 2 people, but now there's 4 people in here. Why? It just is. Goku and Trunks, Piccolo and Boo. There's 4 people now.
Maybe only 2 people can go in at a time.
Whatever. And then this Vegeta training, he's just doing stuff, and we have to just sit there and just go, I guess that is improving his energy, his ki control. By whatever means it is improving it.
Your spirit and your body were off sync or off balance or something.
But then,
and now
but
it
now
is
it's
on
better.
balance.
When you stood on this needle. Okay.
2 months.
Goku took 150 days, but you did it in less time. Why?
Because I'm an elite.
Whatever.
It's just in the greatest transformation in Super Saiyan 4. I'm not like Kakarot, where I'm gonna jump around like a monkey, man. I got my mind. I'm better.
But Goku had 30 years of martial arts training. When Vegeta had...
body.
So what is Vegeta's mind training that put him so far above Goku's body
He's
training?
been ki training since he was a child. Goku did not get ki training until he essentially was with
Roshi.
Even then, it wasn't that great because he couldn't fly.
Flight isn't an aspect of ki control. It's just an ability
From ki.
Sure, but it's not like you have a specific level of ki in order to do that.
No, but you need the control of the ki.
Are you telling me that Master Roshi can't control the ki? Sufficient enough to fly?
I would assume not because he can't fly.
He's a master.
And?
He knows
He's a master of martial arts, not
and
ki.
the Kamehameha. He can do a Kamehameha.
He can do a blast. Wow.
Okay.
And 4-year-old doing that.
Goku did a Kamehameha, but
At
then
6.
what made him be able to fly because of the ki control?
I gotta assume it's the training with like Kami or whatever.
Okay. Krillin didn't have that training, but he could fly.
Yeah, but it took longer, I'm sure.
Nope. Same amount of time.
I don't know what happened there. I haven't read Dragon Ball in a while, so I have no counter for what you just said. I'm just gonna assume he also trained with a god.
Trained with Kami.
There you go.
But now we're like God energy?
No.
Dot.
No. God, he knows all about ki, so he can actually train them in ki, whereas Roshi could only really train them in body.
Does he know all about ki?
He knows more about Roshi, I'm sure.
You're sure?
I'm certain.
Based off what?
The fact that Piccolo could fly and he didn't get no training.
But that doesn't speak to his ki control. Simply the fact that he can use an ability that
that needs ki control.
Sure, but you don't need a specific level of ki control.
You do, because remember Videl could barely get off the ground, whereas Gautier was zip-zapping around, and then it was just like, well, he's been doing it since he was a child, so he's been doing ki control. He's been using ki. He's had ki.
So he knows
since
what
he
it
was
feels like.
So he knows what ki control is since a child. So he knows what ki control was.
Like to use ki.
So he knows what ki control was.
At it.
So he knows what ki control was since he was a child, correct? Since he was a child, correct?
Who taught him? His mama?
Go on, I guess.
No, he didn't, because he didn't even know he could go Super Saiyan. When he threw the rock, he was like, whoa, you can do that?
Yeah.
So he didn't train him.
Mm-hmm. Chi knows.
No, he didn't train him because he didn't train himself. Because he said that I haven't trained at all. So it was Chi-Chi, and Chi-Chi can't fly. Chi-Chi can't use ki.
How do you know this?
Has she?
That's not what I asked you.
Has she flown?
That's not what I asked you.
What did you ask me?
Can she?
I submit no, based off the evidence that we have not seen her fly.
It's not good enough.
What would be good enough? Her turning to the camera and going, I can't fly?
Yes. I can't do ki.
Well, under what circumstances would she say that?
Somebody come pick me up because I can't fly.
I'm pretty sure somebody did.
Well, that was in Super.
We
don't count Super.
But
yeah, it did happen. Somebody flew her to right before Goku Black. Yeah. But that's Super. We don't count Super.
I guess we don't count Super.
Nope.
So we don't have evidence of her being able to fly or not in Z.
Him turning into a Super Saiyan against Chi-Chi was filler.
Him who?
Gautier turning into Super Saiyan against Chi-Chi was filler.
It absolutely was filler, but he said that in the manga that she trained him. Mm-hmm. So we know that at least she trained him, and she's training him into something that she can't do.
He has that inlay saying.
Okay, so now it's about inlay saying stuff, and not about the training, which was my thing before with the Vegeta, with the Vegeta thing.
Remember, Gautier couldn't fly because he couldn't do that ki control, but he could use ki.
It's not about ki control.
It is about ki control.
It's partially about ki control, okay, but it's also a technique. It's also just a technique separate from that.
But it requires ki control to do so.
Yes, it does. But you need to know.
Kamehameha just feels like a gathering of energy and then blasting.
But you need to know the actual ability in order to do that.
The ability of what?
It's called like Kibujitsu or something like that. The actual name for flight. It's a technique that is taught
with ki control.
Yes, but it's also a technique. It's not simply the ki control. It's not simply the ki control.
Cool. But ki control is an aspect of
it. Yes, it is, but it's also the technique. You also need to be taught the technique.
Cool.
And Kami knows the technique. That's how he was able to teach Krillin and them.
Mm-hmm. And help them with ki control.
Did he?
If they can fly.
It's not about ki control. Hey. It's partially about the ki control.
Gautier couldn't fly, but he could turn into a Super Saiyan.
It's partially about the ki control.
Okay, DA.
We've gone. Oh, this ratio.
On top of visiting a location we've only ever heard of in the original series, seeing the place felt equal parts new and nostalgic. Like it really belonged...
Didn't we see it in the manga with Goku?
Yeah.
Maybe that was anime only.
Maybe.
I don't care about just seeing a place.
Same.
With some things here. Hey, here's a half fire, half ice. I care about that. Hey, here's a bunch of candy buildings. I care about that. And here's a samurai place. Ooh, that's interesting.
I need to go to that place because maybe they'll have a technique that can defeat Moro. Yes, we do.
And it's just a place with buildings. And we're seeing the people's like, okay, whatever. I don't care. I'm not hyped about seeing Yardrat.
What was the king's name? The elder's name?
It either began with an A or an E.
Because they've said it like 17 times. Don't just call him blank. It's elder.
It was like, I think it was a play on papaya. It was like papaya or something like that. It's a P-A-Y.
This is my shrug shoulders, and I read this, and I chew not. No less than 2 hours ago.
I'll look up Elder Yardrat. Pybara.
There you go. This tells me that I don't give a about these characters. Yardrat means
20 characters in Class 1A. At the same time.
I don't give a shit about them.
True that.
They don't give me a reason to care about Sugar Rush.
That didn't prove my point the way that I thought it was going to.
What the f am I supposed to do with Sugar Rush? Hey, which one is Coda?
Is he Sugar Rush? Or is he Animal
No! Animal Dude!
What's Sugar Rush's name?
I don't remember!
I should have cottoned on to that.
Saito? I think it's Sato. S-A-T-O, Sato.
Sato. Yes, it is. Sato and... It began with a K. Kaido. It was not Kaido.
Oh my dude, I literally just said this man's name.
What was it?
Coda
And Sato. Coda Sato. Sato is sugar. SS. Coda. Come here, animals. Association in my mind. Got it.
What's the other dude's name?
Ojiro.
There you go.
Because I always confuse him with Ochako.
There you go. We named three of them.
Tentacle.
Yeah, no.
Zero. No, that's not Zero.
That's
Tape Dude. But it begins with an S. Seiji? Saiji?
That sounds about right.
I know it begins with an S.
That sounds correct.
I can't even... Tentacle, my hero. I hope... Safe search.
It's not Tentacle. It's Tentacle.
Shoji.
Mezzo
Shoji.
I will never remember Shoji for some reason.
Shoji, Sato, Ojiro, Ojako. What are you doing?
Something I can say for everything in Dragon Ball Super these days. While this training is taking place, however,
what's something that he couldn't say?
What could you... it feels nostalgic and new. You know why? How many places do they visit in Dragon Ball?
What do they do?
Earth, Namek. Yardrat that we heard about.
Super Saiyan Blue with Kaioken. How is that not nostalgic and new? Kaioken is an antiquated technique, but he's combining it with a new technique. He didn't say never. He said he can't say that much. I'll say that about what he just said. That third wish was wasted.
Oh,
that was a
releasing
dumb wish.
all the prisoners?
That was a dumb wish. You could have just stormed that mug.
It really could have. Really could have. It's not like anybody could have stopped him. And then, how did they get there that fast?
They commandeered ships from that place.
No, they commandeered the big ship.
They were orbiting that planet.
Namek?
Sure.
I guess to transport Moro quickly?
You say so.
Storyline concerning Moro and a secret wish arises. And this becomes the talk of the online community for months. You see, in the closing moments of the Namek section, Moro manages to get his hands on not only all of the Dragon Balls, but he manages to get his wishes for said balls on Namek. This personally,
Totally not Mark, how did he do that? With a brainwashing helmet. Wrong, I guess he just doesn't have any kind of autonomy because he's like, I'm cool with this.
You said the word, so...
Why do they not have any sort of inlaid, like... Hey, Paronga, if you see something sus, you don't grant that
Oh, that's a new helmet? That's cool. What's your wish?
What's your wish?
exceptional.
Revive this man who every time that he's described feeling their energy, it feels like thousands of people screaming. Revive him back to his full power. You got it, boss.
I am like the angels. I have no bias, positive or negative. It's just your wish.
But Shinron shows fear.
Yeah, for Lord Beerus.
And his wishes for said balls on Namek. This personally I thought was exceptionally interesting, as to my recollection I hadn't ever seen a scene like this before in the series. And what's more is, Toyotaro decided to dangle Moro's final wish like a carrot in front of us by keeping it secret. Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, and YouTube were set ablaze. Theories were firing left, right, and center.
And it, like so much in Dragon Ball, is so disappointing. To the point that I didn't remember what the wish was, and I had read it a year or so ago. And I'm like, what the f did this dude wish for?
Dude,
is he gonna...
Were people really that hyped about the third wish?
Super evil guy, super strong guy. What's he gonna wish for?
Why would it even be something worth teasing?
Why? Just for this reason. To get the buzz around it. And then you go into it like, oh, Dragon Ball Super, there's a new villain. Oh, he's a pretty unique looking villain. He made wishes, so we know what wishes mean. Anything.
But don't they realize that's kind of what destroyed The Walking Dead? Because the ratings plummeted after that Glenn Abraham who did Negan kill. Because the premiere had like the highest ratings ever, and then it was just a complete drop off after that. So they got the resolution, and they were like, well, I don't give a no more about this series. Y'all dangled this for months.
That's a double-edged sword. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it don't.
I'd rather not take the chance on something that I know is disappointing.
Yeah, it's not even like it's something super huge. Like in the middle of a battle, he's gonna be like, "Oh, y'all forgot about the third wish, huh? You thought you could take off my head, but no, my third wish was just for immortality."
Not even immortality. Could have just been like, I fought that Boo character. I saw that Boo character or some. I want cells like that. I want regeneration, like something, anything.
I want magic like that. I want an immunity to his magic.
I want to be able to absorb any creature, including gods.
I want the ability to sense the gods.
It was so cool watching the fandom speculate over something so vigorously regarding Dragon Ball. I mean, the possibilities seemed endless, and then it was revealed that the surprise was, well, he wished for the prisoners to be released from the Galactic prison. Woo! Some fodder for the secondary characters, or at least that's what I thought. And just like that, all the...
You thought, and you were correct.
And you were right, and that's what happened. Oh no, here comes Sadambo. Which
one was that?
He was
the Panda Man or the robot?
No, he was the big guy that got more of Moro's energy, and he was supposed to be really big, strong, and then he got pieced up pretty easily.
And then no, he kept getting energy, and his body gave out because of the too much energy, which is foreshadowing for what happens to Moro.
That's my face right now.
Speculation went down the drain. It was disappointing.
Why are you the way that you are?
Thank you for...
But you know what's funny? Going back over this arc all at once, this didn't bother me nearly as much, which...
You know why? Because you already know what's coming, and you don't have that super hype. Oh, what could it be? What could it be? What could it be for 3 months?
You don't have people online giving better ideas, and then you theorizing, yo, that is a really good idea. Like we just did with the whole sensing gods, Boo, immunities, immortality, whatever. And you go, dang, that's where this story could go. He has unlimited possibilities, and he does this, something that he could have done with his own 2 hands. And of course, it's, like you said, it's not going to bother you this time around because you know what you're expecting, and you're not hyped up about what's it going to be, and you're not making your own story in your mind. You're just going, yeah, I know what it's going to be. So in 2 chapters, I'm going to learn what it's going to be, and it's going to be this.
It's just like when people revisit Fishman Island. It's just like the arc wasn't as bad as I remember. That's because you no longer had the 4, 5, 6 years of people talking about Fishman Island going there, and you didn't have the month-long hiatus, and it's the first major arc after the time skip. Now it's just another arc to you. You lose all that hype and the deflation of what comes with that hype. And it's just like, okay, well, this is just a thing now. I can take away so much of my emotion and my hype for that thing and just read it as the arc or the moment. And then I can evaluate it. So, no, of course you're not going to be as disappointed. Of course it's not going to seem as bad to you now that you don't have those months of speculation. Now that you don't have all that hype and fervor for what's to come next. Of course not, Mark.
Interesting to my attention. This story is remarkably simple, but it felt really long. At 25 chapters, if you include the ending chapter of the Universe Survival arc featuring Miris, despite being the 5th story arc covered in the Dragon Ball Super manga, it accounts for over 37% of the total chapters in all of the...
I didn't feel the length.
What?
Well, they teleported to Namek,
Yeah, of course they did.
so they weren't in orbit. Or maybe they were in orbit. Doesn't matter.
Oh, wait, no, they said it would take like 4 days to get there by ship.
That's fine. That's fine. But yeah, I didn't really feel the length of it because it is it's in thirds. It is the first third was this learning about more on the fight and stuff, and that's pretty breezy. You don't have a whole lot of information. The next third is the training, and then the final third is the action. And the action, it was like
kind of zoom by.
it was legitimately just zooming by. It was. I think I read 5, 6 chapters in an hour. It was just like.
Yeah, I remember I was like, I'm gonna be finished with this by 3, and it was like 1:40, and I finished up at like 2:30.
Because it just simply wasn't that much to it.
Now, that's not to say 25 chapters itself is long. I mean, please, I've read about 1,000 chapters of One Piece this year. But what made this story feel long and at times strange to follow was its release and production schedule. You see, with the classic Dragon Ball manga by Akira Toriyama in the 80s and 90s, readers in Japan got to experience the story not once a month, but every single week. With the chapters being shorter, the story as a result had to be structured such that every 11 or so pages, there would be a cliffhanger to end that week's release chapter. This is in part why I believe Dragon Ball Z was so infectious and so well paced in the manga, not the anime. A chapter would be released every single week, creating routine, and for those binging it, every 11 pages there would be something to encourage them to read on. If you've ever held...
But that's every manga in existence. Well, maybe not like Slice of Life. They don't really have a cliffhanger hook.
The vast majority of battle shonen.
Yes.
the Dragon Ball manga in your hand, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Open a random page and you'll get sucked in immediately. The thing's infectious. So, what does it...
Are you gonna go to the Dragon Ball manga and pick
You know it.
a random page
You
on it?
know that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
How about we don't do that? How about we don't show Mark hyperbole for what it is? In hyperbole.
I'm gonna go to... Does he mean Dragon Ball proper or all of Dragon Ball?
I would assume the original Dragon Ball.
Does have to do with the Moro Arc of Super?
So, let's go. Look at this. Look at this. It's just gonna do that, and then I'm gonna do that. Chapter 39. It's a tournament arc, and it's against a dinosaur. And Goku is sleeping. And he's gonna defeat him before the chapter ends. And no, he didn't. Will Goku be able to get out of this thing? That is a bad example because Goku trapped and I got blown up by Mark live on air.
No, what he said was you can go to any page and be enthralled in it. Not the final page, but any page in that chapter.
Nah. That's just hyperbole. That's just hyperbole from our boy Mark.
To do with the Moro Arc of Super? Well, in classic Dragon Ball, 25 chapters would usually translate to about 5.5 months worth of content. In Super, it translated to over 2 years. And when you get a cliffhanger once every...
See, here's the difference though, Mark. A chapter of Dragon Ball /Z would be 16 pages. a chapter of Super is like 50, 60 pages. So you're getting 3 to 4 chapters per chapter.
There's a lot more content. There's a lot more stuff happening within that. You have one thing to speculate over for a month's time, as opposed to 4 things to speculate over within that month's time.
So let's just say that it's the bare minimum of 3 chapters per month. That would mean that these 25 chapters become 75 chapters of the original Dragon Ball. Do you see why it's different? And you can't just say 25 chapters of original Dragon Ball was this long. The length would be different because you'd have to incorporate 3 chapters worth instead of 8 chapters worth.
And this is nothing new. This is the 4th, 5th arc in Dragon Ball Super. Did your previous reviews say this thing? Because, you know, it's the exact same.
I don't think JoJo's is any better or worse because when it switched to monthly, there's parts that are way better in my opinion. There are parts that are way worse in my opinion. Means nothing.
The last chapter had 47 pages.
And you're talking about 11 pages, so it would be 4 chapters if that were the case. I'm going 16, but back in the day they might have only been doing 11 to 12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15.
So yeah, I don't know where he's getting this 11 pages thing from.
Maybe that's a little bit later in Dragon Ball Z. Once his health started deteriorating. Once he stopped caring a little bit. I'm going to go chapter 283, Ginyu. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14. Went down a little bit. And now let's go to Boo.
But did it go down? Was there any double pages? Because, you know, you always got those always counted as one page.
I didn't see any.
Okay.
I said Boo, not Cell. 509. That's near the end. Let's go a little bit earlier. 485. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12.
So that's around the 11, 12.
Yeah.
Near the end? It doesn't... No, it was 16.
Every month, if the particular chapter is uneventful, which some of them genuinely are, it makes it so easy to forget about this series and the specific events therein. If something bugs you about this story, you now have a month to be bothered by it. Whereas had it a more regular release schedule, the weaker chapters wouldn't hang around very long.
Hey, can all manga switch to monthly, please? Because they're dying over there with this weekly bullshit.
It's not a good system.
I don't care if there's a chapter I'm disappointed by and it's just like, well, I gotta wait a month for the next. I don't care.
Because you say that like, I'm gonna be bothered by this one thing, but then the next week it's gonna be all cool, or there's gonna be some. No, what about the next thing that you're gonna be bothered by in that next chapter? Because My Hero is just a never-ending sequence of just pure disappointments. What about that? I would love for that to just go monthly and just for me not to think about it. That'd be fantastic. But no, it's just this bad thing, and then a whole new bad thing, and then a whole new bad thing.
I keep going up and down on My Hero and being caught up. I'll catch up, then I'll be 3 weeks behind. Then I'll catch up, I'll be 2 weeks behind. I cannot weekly My Hero.
This last chapter was abominable. And it's simply because it was just Shigaraki doing a big speech, and then our boy Bakugo doing a big speech.
No way.
And I'm just like, who is this for?
Bakugo and Shigaraki fans, what do you mean? Deku's gonna save Shigaraki.
Did you see Bakugo's power armor?
No.
I wish that was a joke.
What does he have? Power army armor?
Cause
that's not an answer.
It's not? You sure?
It is, but it's not an adequate one.
Where that power armor is? What that power armor do?
Detroit is awful, y'all. Act like I'm not putting that flyer up on stream, just so people know what we're about here. What are we doing?
He's so cool.
He's not.
He's so cool. He's so strong.
Yes, he is.
Who needs Mirio?
They do. Can you imagine Mirio against All For One, a person that needs to touch somebody?
I love the My Hero chapters that are just half about Bakugo yelling that he is grown and is better. These are my favorite. That one panel of Sun Eater could be used for more Bakugo. There was one panel of Sun Eater. One panel.
Of course. What else do you need from him? He's done. Where is Mirio?
Nobody cares.
Hey, if All For One goes after Eri, we know where Mirio's gonna be. Yeah, My Hero is a very bad series. And I'm so happy that so many people are turning around on it. And I am so unhappy that so many people are just dug in.
We need to get them out of that ground. We need to teach them.
No problem if you're just like, hey, I recognize this, but my God, I love it. My God, it's hype. You do you.
Say it's good and see what happens.
Anyway, speaking from my own personal experience, there have been months where
My own personal experience. If you say my own experience, if you say my personal experience,
Oh, you got to double up.
you do not need to double up.
I'm okay. So
Sure
let me
needs
ask you
scripts.
something. Let me ask you something. What offers better protection? One pair of underpants or two?
One.
You got any kind of science for that?
There's
You got any
this-
kind of study?
There's something about moisture that could harm you if you have multiple pairs of underwear.
I'm gonna need to see some data.
I can provide it later.
Is later now?
No.
All right then. For now, I'm correct and Mark is correct, and that is the proper sentence structure.
It's not improper, it's just redundant.
genuinely forgot the manga was being released. Had I not had Twitter for you guys to remind me, I legitimately would have been months behind at this point. It's a small...
Pause. You would have been months behind one of your favorite series of all time, that which built your channel, that which your avatar is modeled after, as you're actively making more Dragon Ball content. You would have forgotten, if not for Twitter. I don't believe you, Mark.
If you're reading One Piece, you're reading and writing scripts weekly, and you know after 4 weeks it's going to be a new super chapter, how are you going to go in 4 months and go, oh, I haven't read Super in 4 months? I don't believe it.
I don't believe you, Mark.
criticism, and maybe I'm nitpicking, but from a schedule release standpoint, I sincerely don't believe enough story gets covered in the manga month to month to warrant this sort of release schedule.
Pause. Outside of the chapters that were essentially just the mooks fighting the mooks, I think that there's plenty of story that gets covered in the manga. It's 47 pages. Now, sure, a lot of it's fighting, but what about the ones that are just training and Moro doing his moral stuff and the planet, people going over to the planets? You get to see quite a lot of what people are doing.
You just have an issue with not constantly getting that dopamine weekly of, hey, this chapter's done, Dragon Ball next week, Dragon Ball next week, Dragon Ball next week. Because what changes in the breaking up of the chapter we have to make it weekly as opposed to monthly? If you truly feel that way, why wouldn't you read 12 pages this week, 12 pages the next week?
There's no break that's just like, oh man, it hooks them for next week.
Where's my fan? Let's see. I'm on the granola. Well, I'm not on the granola, but that's where I'm at because I just finished reading the Moro Arc, and that's the very next thing.
Granola. I hate him so much.
So
he's not even a fixture in his own arc.
This granola, this one has 46 pages. We're going to go to page 11 and see what the break is. 11 or 12 and see what the break is. Fighting Whis. You know what? It could have been right when he turned Ultra Instinct. That could have been the break.
Yep, that Vegeta face. That looks like a good break.
That's 11 pages. Let's go to 22 to 23. They're fighting. That's all the fighting. That's all the fighting. Ain't the only techniques of the gods. That's the angel specialty. Training in my description. And then Vegeta walks
You're
off.
free to steal it if you want. And then it goes off to something else. So that is a very good place to break.
Granola. So why couldn't you just do that if you truly felt that way? Not good breaking points, my ball.
Yeah, but that's work that you got to put into reading a manga.
What more work could there be than reading it weekly anyway?
Comparing it to series like Attack on Titan that releases monthly also, the difference in how much story is covered per monthly chapter is honestly staggering.
Dragon Ball is not a story series.
No, it is not a story series. This is a political drama. Is one of the first three things that it is.
Hey, is genocide bad? I feel like it. You do not understand. If you're identifying, I'm tired of these jokers speaking the truth.
No, he's not. No.
Hey, the dentist system, maybe it works. Y'all, you are terrible men. Don't idolize these monsters, because they are monsters.
And so, given all of that, my first negative critique of this arc actually has nothing to do with the story, but in fact it's...
Again, why would he not pick a chapter at random and just go, look at this. We get the revelation of this, we get the revelation of this, and then go over to Super, like, we see more of Goku's training, which we've already known that he's doing. We see more of Vegeta's training, which you already know that he's doing. We see more of Moro's gang pilfering planets, which we know that they're doing. That would be something feasible to compare. Not just saying that Attack on Titan also releases monthly, but they tell more story within it.
Hey, I don't read Attack on Titan. I have never finished Attack on Titan. I don't know what you're talking about, Mark. Can you please explain what you mean?
Can you please explain for the people that don't know what you're talking about as you're using this as a crux to go, this does it better, but not explaining how it does better other than the fact that it simply does do it better.
Release schedule. And as a result, that one secret wish Moro made, while it was a blip in the overall story being told, it was at the forefront of fans' minds for literally months.
You say months like it's an engaging or interesting thing, as opposed to what you really should be saying, 3 chapters.
Yes. Because, again, if you break it down to, let's say it's weekly, it still would have taken that amount of time to get there. So it still would have been months. But it would have been even more chapters of not knowing.
Allowing them to build false anticipation. Had this been released weekly like the classic Dragon Ball, audience expectations could have been managed much more efficiently and going...
How so?
I don't think so.
If the story is the exact same and it's stretched out in roughly the same time period, Mark.
Instead of 3 chapters, you got 12 chapters of them not addressing what that third wish was, and every single time that you go into a chapter, you go, are they going to explain the wish? No, they aren't. Are they going to explain the wish? No, they aren't.
How does he not understand a
again.
page difference of the series? You want to talk about 11 to 12 pages? Let's just go with the 11 to 12. That is legitimately 4 chapters worth. There would just need to be different cliffhangers at the end of the chapter, but it would be the same.
It's still months. It's still the same amount of story being told. Doesn't matter the way that it's being told. It's the same amount of story being told.
Series, this moment comes and goes so fast, it honestly doesn't even feel like it's worth talking about. But I digress.
Burn some time. Thank goodness.
I want to thank
'cause
Surf
this
Shark
ratio
VPN for...
is pissed.
Okay, Surfshark is not a good enough ad
Yeah,
to
there's not
look
going to
into.
be any.
It's just like, you can go to here. Yeah, this is not a good enough ad. I need Mark drinking something.
When it came to this section of the story, something that immediately stood out to me while I was reading month to month was that finally we were getting multiple points of view rather than following the same isolated linear path for the entire tale. If you cast your minds back to the Namek and Frieza sagas of Dragon Ball Z, for example, the point of view wouldn't stay on Gohan and Krillin ducking and dodging the Frieza Force the entire time.
Hey, this also happened in Cell. Hey, this also happened in Boo. Hey, this also happened in the Tournament of Power.
This also happened in the Beerus arc because it switched from where Goku was to where Vegeta was to the Kai planet.
What are you talking about, Mark? What are you talking about?
Even in Frieza, we got switched from Goku and Vegeta's training over to Earth where Frieza's wrecking shop.
What are we talking about, Mark?
Goku training, King Kai's planet, Vegeta's perspective, and not to mention Frieza's among many others dotted throughout. This is something that adds richness to the world and, most importantly, keeps pivotal plot points interesting. If you spend too much time somewhere, then it starts to get boring. This was something...
No, it doesn't if it's still good stuff.
Yeah.
That's some real, like, ADD mind stuff. It's just like, I need new shiny key, otherwise I'm bored.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I could spend legitimately 10 chapters with the Straw Hats just in a room talking. I don't give a as long as it's interesting stuff they talking about. As long as they're talking about they're having fun and it's funny. I don't give a how long it takes.
Essentially, the end of Whole Cake Island was just the mirror world and the ship going back and forth, as opposed to what he just said with like 8 different perspectives. I would have been fine sticking with either of them for an extended period of time. I don't think that just because we stay at a certain place, it gets boring. I think it's a case-by-case basis. If the world itself, if the place you are in is not interesting, if the things going around the story is not interesting, that's where it comes into not being interesting. Not simply just because we're in a place for too long.
The Dark Tournament is regarded as the best tournament arc. During the fight, it's mostly just action in the ring, sequential action in the ring, and then in the side stuff, we get the different perspectives of what characters are doing for training or who they're meeting up with. But for the most part, it's just, hey, this is happening in the ring. It's happening for 2 to 6 to 7 episodes, and then next thing. I wasn't bored by that. I don't care how long you stick with someone, as long as it's good or interesting stuff going on inside of it.
Part 4 takes place in a single town. It's not like there's any huge landmarks or, hey, now we're finally here. No, you got the Boing Boing cave, you got the tower, and essentially it's just a bunch of buildings and stuff.
I mean, for the most part, JoJo's in general is just like, hey, this is happening now. We're done with that. This is happening now. Yeah. We're done with that.
A lot of single perspectives.
Yes.
It's not all of them. Like little when they went into his ear, little tiny shrunk. Yeah. Something like that is different perspectives, but
for the most part, it's single perspective for the vast majority of what's going on.
I just don't think that that's inherently boring.
Yes.
I don't agree with that, Mark.
A lot with, in my opinion. But this arc breaks that trend and successfully establishes and utilizes multiple different scenes running parallel to one another. We got Goku training with Meris that, while brief, at least establishes a nice relationship between the two. We have Vegeta training on Yardrat, attempting to cast his pride to the side to repay a debt in learning a new, strange technique. This scene in particular acts...
He fought that Zarbon bastard for so long. It was like 8-9 pages. I'm like, what are we doing here?
How did he not blow him up with that first blast?
He didn't know his own strength, and he just survives. And he's scuffed up. And then he proceeds to baby mode him without transforming.
Earth. And in addition to those two scenes, we have the point of view of the gods with Whis, Beerus, and the Grand Priest. But perhaps most compelling of all, we have a massive conflict brewing down on Earth as Moro begins to move in with his henchmen. The battle for Earth. It's at this point in the story my excitement was honestly building quite substantially. I recognized how...
My excitement was building quite substantially.
Why? For what purpose? Oh, we get to see Roshi again? Great.
How can you look at this and get hype?
Here comes Tien.
Chaosu literally saying, I hope I can still fight.
I hope I can fight. Great.
...as a character in helping remedy the power creep issue, and I also noticed...
No, he didn't remedy it. He exacerbated it.
Because he just got big strong.
the concurrent storylines running all together. Knowing full well that they would all converge on the battle for Earth eventually, I was really excited to see how things would unfold as the two strongest in the universe, Vegeta and Goku, eventually finish up their training and make their respective saves. But the question was, to me at least, between Goku and Vegeta, who would make the save on who? And to my surprise, as the Z Fighters were defending the Earth, Goku arrives first, leading myself and many others to be excited in seeing Vegeta eventually making the save on Goku. This
Pause. Whoops.
Hey,
He
did, but then he didn't.
Never get excited for anything Vegeta ever.
Nope.
Because he's always going to end up flat on his back.
You know what? You should get excited, but you should know where it leads.
Temper your expectations. Get temporarily excited. Get excited for his 1 or 2 chapters of hype, and then just go, and now the Vegeta moment. And now Vegeta in his natural habitat.
Get as hype as you possibly can, knowing that Vegeta will catch the L.
Knowing what's to come.
Knowing who wins in the end.
Enjoy your cigarette, knowing that cancers are coming.
Enjoy your cigarette, knowing that it's gonna burn your lips. Just keep letting it burn, and it's gonna burn your lips. But while it's here, enjoy the out of it.
Yep. But just know what's coming. Don't just be like, there's
but
no
this
problem
time,
here.
Vegeta, if you're a this time Vegeta, you've already...
You're too far gone.
There's a reason Vegeta's your favorite character. You don't recognize the L that's coming.
Was, again, something we weren't too used to seeing from Vegeta, and to say we were all anticipating it was an understatement.
I don't care about different. I simply don't.
Hey, how can it be an understatement to say everyone's anticipating something? Wouldn't that be properly stated?
How much more can you go?
How much more anticipation can there be than all? You hyperbolic piece of shit.
Again, this was a situation where the entire community was talking about it. Finally, Goku would be saved by Vegeta.
Finally? He did it with Boo. He did it with Frieza.
He did it in movies.
What are we doing? He did it in the Tournament of Power? What is this finally garbage?
And even if he does, who cares?
Yeah, and even if he does, you know what's coming, and if you didn't, you deserve what came.
We know who the main dude is. We know what's to come. He's not gonna come down and just go, hey, it's my time now, and then just beat Moro and everybody's happy.
Stop acting like this is 1A, 1B. It is 1 and 2.
Much of the time on Earth had been spent with the likes of Gohan, Piccolo, and the androids as they overcome the interesting and bizarre henchmen of Moro, establishing for us...
Interesting? I couldn't name 2 of them bastards.
I don't know.
And you named one of them, and I don't remember his name.
I don't know what the dude that fought Krillin could do. I know that those 3 ladies could fuse. But before that,
Fat Ugly.
that is still comedy. Yeah, there was the little one that I don't think he did anything. There was the android 7-3 who stole stuff, which it's just like he steals powers and he steals the strength. I thought that he could only steal the power, but it's just like he steals the strength.
As strong as it is as you are now. So, are they able to go to is it your max strength or the strength you had when you did it? Because if they lower their strength to 10 when they get grabbed, is a special being cannon only as strong as a 10 key Piccolo, or is it as strong as max key Piccolos?
And does that factor in potential?
And does it factor in transformation? Like, can they turn Super Saiyan now? Since that's technically just like a technique or whatever. If a Namekian can regenerate, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to transform into the powers of Super Saiyan.
Interesting henchman. Let's see how much you talk about him.
Order and the means with which Moro has been harvesting energy across the universe. However, once they realize that they've vastly underestimated the forces of Earth, more and more fighters start to pour in, leading to them eventually being overwhelmed until Goku shows up to save the day. And
No word on the actual henchmen.
They're interesting.
They're so interesting that I'm not even gonna talk about them. I don't even need to. Y'all know why they're great. Y'all know why they're interesting. Hey, Goku's back. Goku's back.
And then he squares up to fight the big fat lady, and he takes them off between chapters because we can't be showing Goku fighting worms. So, and then he teleports over to where Tien and Yamcha are to beat their foe, and then he teleports over to where Gohan and Piccolo are to beat their foe. This is trash.
How is this fair with a chuckle? There's nothing chuckle here. This isn't fair.
And save the day he most certainly does, taking out the individuals that have been causing the most trouble quickly, eventually coming face to face with the goat man himself, Moro. For me, the interest behind this particular fight stemmed from the prior battle where Goku was, well, I mean, he was dominated. On top of that, we know full well that Moro has become even more powerful since, but perhaps at the forefront of everyone's minds at this point would be the fact that Goku has been training with Meres, who has revealed himself to be an angel in training. And together their training consisted of Meres trying to acclimatize Goku to use Ultra Instinct on command. And while they found some success, the form was still unrefined, only managing to reach Ultra Instinct's sign. However, now he can control it. So that's something, at least. Looking more abstractly for a second, there are a variety of elements
That's all you can say is that's something. What does that mean?
That's something we ain't even know.
He's stronger.
Oh, he can only reach the sign form? Well, that's opening the gate to Ultra Instinct. Oh, but now you perfected it. Cool. You went from opening the gate and then just jumping to the building of Ultra Instinct. No steps taken.
Except for that you didn't, because in the next arc they go, there's levels to Ultra Instinct. You're only on the first level and we're way up on these higher levels.
It never stops.
It's never gonna stop.
Why not? Yeah, that was a stupid question.
Toys.
No, that was a stupid question.
Dokkan.
That was stupid.
Xenoverse. Fighters. You don't they're already pumping out the Beast Gohan into Heroes and Dokkan. Already.
Zeno's coming soon.
Number go up.
Beast Gohan. Gohan Beast.
Son Gohan Beast. Beast. It's horrible.
They're not even trying. It's so amazing that you don't even have to try. And people are still legitimately just jizzing.
Imagine being like such a big streamer that you could just pop on anything and just go, yeah, that's pretty good. And you're just getting money thrown at you. You don't have to try. You don't have to try to be entertaining.
Like a Hassan just eating.
Yeah.
On straight, legit. That's facts.
Imagine a script writer where they trust you enough that they just go, it's a name, get him in here, he can do whatever. That's what Toriyama...
a Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
And people are just gonna go see it because it's Snyder. Dude, this is unbelievable.
And it's just this again. Hey, he's Ultra Instinct sign. What does that mean? Oh, he's stronger and his body moves on its own, kinda, but he still gets hit. So he's just faster.
Pick up this story taken from various parts of the original Dragon Ball storyline. Moro's search for power in youth bears striking similarities to King Piccolo's saga.
You are not doing this, Mark. Bears striking...
And he can steal energy like the androids. And he can... Oh, my goodness. Oh, he destroys planets like Frieza.
Why are we clapping for regurgitated story and plot beats?
Wouldn't this be his ultimate villain? Wouldn't it just be and curtain down after this if you're fighting the amalgamation of all of your past villains?
No, because now Granola and then Monkey Man, who just also wished for the strongest.
Gas. Put some respect on his name.
I can't respect a man named Gas. I'm sorry.
This Ultra Instinct sign introduces in this specific battle is very similar to that of the Kaioken technique used during the Frieza saga. Goku isn't going all out at first, but even after he does, it's still not enough.
He did go all out. Mom's went, no, he's been doing a 20. And it ain't enough.
That 20 ball.
All the while, it drains him of his energy and stamina. And perhaps my favorite similarity of this story comes by way of a role reversal, which, in all honesty, is fitting considering this journey Vegeta has specifically undergone in this arc. After having spent quite some time...
And Vegeta specifically went as opposed to unspecifically went? The fuck are you talking about? You need a thesaurus. You need a dictionary.
Training alongside the likes of the Ardradians, Vegeta arrives using a signature technique of his rival at the last second to make the save on a downed Goku after his initial fight with Moro.
Never again.
And it's thematically fitting too. This arc...
Yavin, you are a piece of thematically fitting. We're not doing thematic, y'all.
Do you think that we ever left thematically fitting that he does this? Oh, he's going back to this kid in the Namekian Mark.
I don't want to hear this, dude.
I also don't want to hear
I
this.
don't want to do the rest.
It's in Mark.
Dude, we got 10 minutes left. I do not want to do this final 10.
Legitimately.
Oh, man.
It's just thematic. It's just and it just drains you. It's like, all right, well, we're done here.
Dang. Fun over.
has made it its mission to drive home the fact that Vegeta is a different person now and regrets having committed the atrocities he did on Namek way back when. Those events...
He just outright says it. It's just like Voldemort going, no, I'm a good person now. Well, how am I supposed to trust that? There's nothing in the story that happened.
And choices he made on Namek led him to where he was before Frieza. Beaten, defeated, and crying. All the while, Goku shows up to make the save at the very last second. However, now, things are different. Armed with a new technique and a virtuous motivation, Vegeta has not only told us through context clues and dialogue, but in a very real way has shown us by reversing his position in this very instance. He is no longer the one being saved, he is the one that arrives to save the day. This is one of my favorite...
Pause. And then what happens? You can't just look at this as a moment. You have to look at it as a whole. He gets laid out flat on his back, and then he has to rely on other people to give energy to Goku to save the day. As a moment of, oh, he's doing the saving, yeah, please clap. But then what happens? You can't ignore that. Smoking's gonna cause your teeth to go yellow. It's proven.
Nah.
You can't just be like, yeah, this smoking feels good. I'm so invigorated. And then just like no consequences. Nothing in the future. No.
In this arc, but honestly, the series. It's a great moment for Vegeta. Unfortunately, this greatness is short-lived as it's quickly followed by some of the most ham-fisted dialogue I've ever seen in Dragon Ball. There's this sequence where Piccolo turns into a YouTube video essay channel and begins deconstructing Goku's character, telling us what he means to people and what he's done for them. Within the confines of a story, this doesn't need to be spelled out to the audience. Something
and then
like
he just
this
goes, Vegeta does not want to underestimate his opponent. And I go, Piccolo. Are you serious? You done been here for all of this. Come on now. He does not. The sale happened because he underestimated that motherfucker.
feels right when it's unspoken, but when it's spoken, it feels like he's winking at the camera. Everyone knows what he means to the rest of the cast, and so should Goku. But in this scene, stupid Super Goku makes his return and blissfully nods along before acknowledging that he has no idea what Piccolo was even talking about. In addition to that, Piccolo also makes note that Vegeta isn't one to underestimate his opponent.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Why are you the way that you are?
This, in addition to a couple of other minor plot contrivances, make up the low point of this arc for me. If this arc ever gets adapted into an
Such
anime...
as what? This is a arc review. You're saying that these things lessen my opinion of this arc, but you're gonna yada yada over what they
things,
were.
along with some plot contrivances,
Make it worse.
why are we not exploring that?
Why not? So easy to do so.
Because Mark is so positive.
But if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it.
But he doesn't want to do it. Like when he had his dog up as a shield, or when he kept putting just in preambles on the Chimera ants and just like, now I understand and I know and it's okay if it's good for you and personal opinion of mine.
Just do it. It's a review.
Just do it. No one's gonna cry.
But if you go, this thing doesn't make sense for this, and this, the worst that somebody can do is go, no, it does make sense for this, and this. They can't be like, oh, you're just, or they can just be like, you're nitpicking, and if you believe that you aren't, then
shut the f up,
then
person.
What is it gonna matter what somebody else says that if you're nitpicking or not?
Arc for me. If this arc ever gets adapted into an anime, please, for the love of all that is holy, please remove these ridiculous sections. Sidestepping those bad bits for now, let's talk visuals, because there are some genuine improvements from the older arcs. Now,
I read this entire arc with the mindset of paneling. I got nothing.
I got one. There was one moment where not Moro, the little angel guy, Maris. He's flying towards Moro, and he's flying, and it's cut with his energy, and then on the bottom right is him, and then on the top left is a memory of him and Goku. I was like, that's cool. The list ends there.
You know, I have not been the biggest fan of Toyotaro's paneling. I think oftentimes he relies too much on large numbers of panels, too many speed lines, and
Is this what you consider paneling, or is this just a reusing of assets of a pose,
of a perspective of
Because there's not, and then audience shots. That's again. Is that what you consider to be paneling?
Oftentimes.
Yeah, this isn't paneling.
I thought the paneling was the layouts of the panels and how they interact with each other.
These are just panels.
These are just panels that have a lot of reused over-the-shoulder shots.
He relies too much on large numbers of panels, too many speed lines, and takes an approach to depicting his stories that more closely resembles a storyboard for an anime than an actual manga making full use of its medium. And despite much of what I've just spoken about being present in the latest material, I am not afraid to say that I've seen some marked improvements that I enjoyed too.
9 reactions, but how much more of that was other stuff?
A panel of reactions in a page. There's 4 to 6 panels per page.
And plus you have to look at it as, is Goku having achieved something that the gods can't even do, fighting against this big strong dude who's stronger than a gods or multiple gods or whatever it is. I think that reaction shots are worth it. And again, that's something, if you care about it, you're going to care about it. But if you don't, you're not going to care about it. I don't really care about like reaction shots.
Yeah, I didn't think too much on the reaction shots.
Yeah, that's not really an issue for me. And this is marking his panel and stuff, so I guess we got to watch that Toyotaro Bad video to figure out exactly what the issue is with paneling and stuff like that, and speed lines.
I don't want to watch other videos to inform this video.
You don't think that's a good thing to do?
No, don't bring up the other videos.
Some really wonderful full and double page spreads, a less cluttered approach to his paneling in places, and an abundance of gestural drawings for the various characters in battle.
Oh my god, look, Goku's got a nostril.
It really helped to bring this story to life for me, and in ways prior arcs under his control had not. In other words, from a visual point of view, this manga is trending up in a direction I think is favorable for the series at large, and that makes me happy. Oddly enough, however, while I appreciate...
And see something like that, go back. It would be helpful if he explained why exactly this shot is good. I can infer that it's perspectives of the big ball. Your eyes travel from the ball to Vegeta, to Goku, to Moro's worried face. You can infer something like that. But just saying that it's good tells me nothing.
While I appreciate the significance that this new move Vegeta brings to the table from a lore standpoint, I think visually it looks extremely unimpressive. This normally wouldn't bother me too much, but we're talking about Dragon Ball here, the show that popularized the Kamehameha, Masenko, Kamehameha, Makanko Sapo, Kamehameha, and
Pause.
Of course it popularized those things. It's in those things. That's like saying One Piece popularized Gum Gum Punch. Or a rocket or whatever.
A Masenko is really just a spread out blast. It's nothing, but your hands are like this, which does something. Again, what the is a Masenko, Mark? If I were to ask Mark, he'd be like, what's a Masenko? It's a blast that you gotta activate by doing this. Do you have to activate it by doing this? And why do you have to activate it by doing this? Does it make it stronger? Does it make it weaker? Can you not do it if you don't do it like this?
What is markedly the difference between a Kamehameha, Final Flash, Galactic Gun, and Masenko? Other than the hand gesture of when you start doing the blast.
countless other important and visually interesting techniques. However, Force Spirit...
Okay, Kamehameha, Masenko. What is visually interesting about the Kamehameha v the Masenko? Special Being Cannon at least got the swirls and stuff. Otherwise, another Dodon Ray or Frieza's Death Ray.
Yeah. The Destructo Disc was done by both Vegeta and Frieza. Light Grenade is just a big ball. Big Bang Attack is just a big ball. Like you said, Kamehameha, Galactic Gun, Final Flash is beams. This is akin to a Spirit Bomb. What I would
Did
like
you want it to be like spiky?
Yeah, I want to know what he would prefer. Like
Like
if
a more-
it gathered in his fist and he used it to punch him or something.
But that's not what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I
for.
don't know. It's gathering of energy and dispersing it. I don't know what more could be done with that.
Maybe if it was like interlocking swirls that created a big ball, as opposed to just a big ball of energy, which more things are just going into the big ball.
Yeah, maybe like segmented. Like this is planetary energy. This is people energy. This is plant energy. This is
like sandwiched or layered.
yeah. I don't.
I wish
this
he
is
would have
just-
explained.
He
because-
might explain. He's not done with this.
Fission, as it's called, really looks boring, which honestly I think is a shame. This move I can see being a massively important component to later arcs in the series too.
How so? Because it only really disrupts things like fusions and anything that's not inherently your energy. It doesn't dissipate energy itself, just like clashing energy or differential energy or what have you.
So it sucks that it's not cool to look at least not for me. And finally, an aspect
No explanation of why it doesn't look cool. What is the difference between it and the Spirit Bomb visually? What is the difference between the Kamehameha and the Masenko visually? There is no
The Kamehameha
explanation.
is blue,
Shut the up!
but it is though.
We don't know what happens if that's orange. Is it good now? If it's like purple inside and orange outside, are we good here?
And this arc, I remember, somebody was doing a Kamehameha. It's like, oh man, that Kamehameha, it was Gohan. It was like Gohan's doing a Kamehameha. That's a Kamehameha strong enough to destroy the Earth. And he's like, he'll explode it on
the
impact.
surface.
I was like, what? Is this a thing?
So why were they so worried about Goku doing it against Cell? Like, he's gathering so much energy, he's not gonna let that go.
What's the mechanics of exploding it on the surface? How do you do that if it's a beam? And
How much control do you have to when it hits the person it doesn't explode, or does it when it hits the person it explodes?
So now it's a different type of Kamehameha. It's
Yeah,
a bomb like Kamehameha. And we have to figure
Proximity
out,
mine Kamehameha.
and we have to be like, okay, so now why is it called the Kamehameha at this point? If it's a different entirely thing instead of just like a concussive blast, it's a explodey ball. Isn't that a whole new thing? Shouldn't that be a whole different name?
really didn't like from a visual standpoint was the final powerful form Moro takes in
Thank
response
you,
to Vegeta and Goku's
Thank
efforts
you
on
so
him.
much.
Having sealed away his power in another
Thank you.
interesting being called 7-3,
I
Moro
went nuts.
literally eats him, regains all of his lost power that was taken by Vegeta's Force Spirit Fission, and he just looks like a weird version of Cell now. While I didn't think the goat form of Moro looked particularly Dragon Ball,
I don't care if it looked
Yeah,
Dragon Ball. It was
Dragon Ball
great.
looked good. It looks different from other things. What
I
does,
can pick
hey,
Moro out of a lineup.
Yeah.
Like, if you just showed me ears, I could give you hit. It'd be Sale or Jared or whatever.
But Mark, you say that the old Moro didn't look particularly Dragon Ball. This does look particularly Dragon Ball.
And you don't like it.
What's wrong with branching out a little bit?
at least thought it looked distinct. In that form, Moro had his own identity, but this version of him just looks like that homework you copied from a friend right before class started. You know what I'm talking about. You change it just enough so that it doesn't look like you completely copied the
it's
guy.
the main-
So yeah, visually, I'm not a huge fan of this. But despite this, however, what this means in terms of the narrative is clear. Moro is back to full power and Vegeta and Goku are spent, forcing Meris to break the rules of the angels, helping in an effort against Moro, damaging him permanently before vanishing completely into thin air. The character of Meris is honestly one I adored in this story.
What is the mechanics of angels disappearing into thin air?
The
Because they
more
just like,
you
we
break
got
the
rules. The more you break the rules.
Yeah, because he started disappearing, and then he was just like, well, this is the last attack.
So can you stop and then be cool?
I would assume so.
But you done
There would be-
broke the rules.
There would be punishment, but it wouldn't be a complete disappearing instantly.
Well, no, it's not a rule at that point.
It is a rule. You get punished for it.
No, it is. They said that the angels that break the rules go bye-bye, go poof.
And he started going bye-bye once he broke.
You
he
can't
truly-
pull that back.
He truly
You
broke the
can't
rule.
pull that back. It went to, for what, 3 is the number?
It was enough for him to be the number.
That is some pure cheat. It's just like, well, now I'm disappearing.
Idea of an immortal being, an angel in training, grappling with the morality and ethics of his individual situation, not knowing whether or not what he has been told to do is just. Forced to make this difficult decision, he chooses to do what he perceives to be the right thing, despite death being the consequence. It's a touching moment and one that is made much more powerful if you go back and read it all in one go. Month to month, I totally forgot so much about Meris as a character, and when I went back the second time, it was so much better.
Nope.
Dude, maybe that's an issue with you reading essentially an arc a week of a series, that you forget so many things
Yeah.
within that arc and other serialized things that you're reading at the time. Maybe that's an issue there, Mark, when you gotta read 45 chapters of Whole Cake Island and then go, wait, what was Miris like 3 months later? Maybe you should lighten your load, Mark, and stop trying to do this weekly bullshit. And just put out videos when you can, when you think you've done good work with it.
There's also nothing wrong with a reread as you're waiting for the next chapter.
Oh yeah, I do that a lot of times. There'll be times where I'll some of the series I read, they don't come out until like 2 months, bi-monthly, blah, and I'll go, what happened last time? And I'll
Run it back.
Run it back.
It sound also like I'm harping on about different character moments here and there, but honestly, this arc is filled with them. Immediately after this, Goku rallies himself from the ground, fueled with motivation after Meris passes on, and has a really nice interaction right before his fight with Moro, as he speaks with Jaco, asking him why he joined the Galactic Patrol. And it's quiet moments like these that really added so much more flavor and texture to the story. Again, something that the other...
Are you cooking, Mark? Are you a chef that's tasting a meal that a chef prepared? Mark, are you a critic at a restaurant talking about texture and flavor? Mark, what is texture to a story, Mark?
It's a really bad pause.
arcs of Super lacked in my opinion. What follows this, however, is a really nice beatdown at the hands of Goku wielding the full power of Ultra Instinct. Once again, there's some really nice artwork on display, and in addition to there being some interesting back and forths, including an unfortunate Cell Saga callback regarding a Senzu Bean and a downed Moro, the best part of the final act for me is...
You're not gonna speak
Wow,
on
you
that?
are really
Mark.
yada-yadaing your negative points of this arc. This is unbelievable.
Come on now.
They asked this man to finish off Moro. Like, okay, he's like, I'll give you the Sensu Bean and you just give yourself up. Why?
Why? For what purpose
He's
does he
beaten-
need to be at full strength? He's not dying at that moment. There's no reason. If you want to give him the sense of being like, all right, we gotta lock you up, we gotta put you in that goo, we gotta do your dumb in Majin Buu ceiling thing, take away your magic, whatever we gotta do, then we'll get you your sensu bean to get you back to health. Because we're not cruel. We're not gonna have you live your life all broken and mangled and stuff. That's something. But I just, not even I just took the sensu beans. So now, when we need them later, my hands and arms are tied up, so you can't even take them. So Vegeta can't have one to do the Force Spirit Fission because he's taking my energy faster than I can take his, so he's just beating the ground and not doing anything. If he was eating beans all that time, he could do it faster. But he wasn't, because Goku had it, because he had to give Moro one.
And then Moro crushed him.
The cooperation between Vegeta and Goku. There's some crazy stuff like Moro turning into the Earth and Goku attaining the Avatar state, which, okay, I get it. Sounds like it's coming out of nowhere and is kind of silly, and okay, it's kind of silly, but it definitely doesn't come out of nowhere. This is actually a really subtle callback to something that happened way back towards the beginning of the arc itself by the Yardratian Elder. In this brief section, he discusses how it's a link or harmony between your body and spirit, and if that's not enough, during that very section...
No! They grew their actual bodies,
Yes, they did.
not a spirit version of their bodies, Mark!
He said that he talked about Planet Moro earlier and goes, don't worry, I'll talk about that.
You mean Planet?
No, when Moro fused with the planet.
Oh, Planet Moro.
Yeah.
Okay.
He talked about Planet Moro earlier. He's like, yeah, I'm going to get to that later. And he just goes, there's some weird stuff like Moro fusing with the planet.
We'll get to later.
And he just
Glossed over
He
it.
just glossed over it.
There's still time, though. At least.
Section 2, he fools Vegeta into thinking himself to be massive, when in actuality he's not. And given that Ultra Instinct satisfied all of those parameters, it stands to reason that Goku would be able to use it too.
But he's not a giant in this. He is in a giant spirit Goku. That was not what the Elder did, Mark. He actually grew.
And he's acting completely different from what Goku is acting. So he has the ability to control it as well. This isn't the same.
If this is the case, Mark, why isn't he using the spirit fission? If it's just the harmony of the body and all that, why is it while he's touching Moro, why isn't he spirit fission? Why is he just punching him? Mark.
No, he's got to excuse it. It can't just be some dumb thing. No, it's a callback to the thing that happened earlier.
But it's not, because it's
But
two
it's
different
simply
things.
not.
Specifically because he must have been made aware of the technique as he already spent a lot of time on Yardrak. And
He must have been made aware of it. So now he just busts it out. Which is a totally different thing. Mark, this is
Having
foolish.
having not learned it.
Mark, this is legitimately foolish. He wasn't even... We don't even know if he was trying to be taught it.
something that was thought to be silly actually turns out to be a really nice callback that
No! It's stupid! Because you're just excusing it
Yes.
because that guy turned giant, so Goku turning giant isn't ridiculous, but it's two different things. It is ridiculous, Mark. How do you not understand this, Mark? This is your literal job, Mark. Understanding the things you're reading and regurgitating it to your audience with some
Making
analysis.
connections. But you gotta make
Yes,
those connections.
You can't make connections if they're there.
And
but
they're
this
there.
is not it. I cannot believe This man is this bumnificent.
Surprise. So much so that I actually completely forgot about it when I was reading month to month. But again, when I was reading it straightforward, start to finish, binging it, it made so much more sense. Culminating with Vegeta helping Goku form a spirit bomb, fueled by the most unlikely of characters, adding even further build up to a moment we all know is coming in the future with Oob. Overall, loved this decision personally.
Overall, love this decision personally. I hate Mark. I hate him so much.
What's the problem?
Chapter. The last chapter of the Moro Arc provided for me something I've been waiting for since the original Dragon Ball story ended after the Buu saga. Something that the Super Series has been sorely lacking has been finally addressed. A cohesiveness that was present in all of the original material that allowed it to feel like one massive story rather than individual smaller segmented ones is now present in Super in some regard. You see,
They picked up the android head, and then the next person was fighting for android head.
And that's enough for Mark.
And so that arc leads into this arc.
And that's enough.
Because he's about to go to Raditz, to Vegeta, to Frieza. Oh, and then stop. From android to... and then stop.
Raditz flowed naturally into the Vegeta fight, which flowed again naturally into the Frieza fight, and so on.
No, so on.
Oh, Mark. That is just
You gave up, Mark.
You knew it wasn't exactly true, so you said the things that were true. Unbelievable.
Super.
Holy crap, you don't do that. You don't go, this is good because it did the things that it did before when it didn't do those things before.
It did so little of those things before that Frieza and after that Frieza. But hey, Frieza, so on.
All of God's story has nothing to do with the Resurrection F material.
I don't care. I don't care if Beerus goes pull Frieza personally to the I don't care. Make it good.
Yes, it doesn't have to be a flowing story. The granola, the intro to the granola arc is not made better because it's just like, hey, here's this head.
Which has nothing to do with the Universe 6 stuff and for the future Trunks saga. There has been a massive void from the storytelling department present since the series rebirth back in 2015, and now, for the first time in the revamp, I can say categorically that this one flows into the next story, making it instantly more interesting in...
Did it even
Instantly
flow?
more
Did it
interesting.
even flow into that? Because this guy does not come up. It just so happens that he's tasked with exterminating this bullshit and grabbing it. Does that android even come into play later?
It does not. It has not yet.
ways that I can't even begin to comprehend alone in this one paragraph. There's even a scene that gives actual consequences to the actions of the prior chapters. Maris gave himself up and in the process vanished. A quick fix for this usually would have been the Dragon Balls or for the gods fixing this, and while he is brought back, he lost his angel abilities and is now mortal. That's a large consequence for that character, and while
He would be gone because that was the actual consequence.
We spent about as much time thinking that he was mortal than thinking that he was an angel, so it's essentially the same.
not massive.
I don't care because we're rarely gonna see this character again. Can he still do Ultra Instinct? I don't know.
Compared to the other stories, it is at least for Dragon Ball significant. I am more than...
The entirety of Trunks' world got destroyed. He went to another one, but these are not his same people. They have not had their same interactions. That's a consequence. Whether you like it or not, whether you think it's good or not, whether you think it's a big enough consequence or not, that is still a consequence.
I'm ready to launch into this next story of the Dragon Ball series with Toyotaro at the helm now, and I'm excited to see this new wonderful character being introduced. This granola character sports
Why is he a wonderful character if he's just being introduced?
Design.
His design is not good.
He's about to talk about design. He's about to say it's very good.
This granola character sports a really nice design. I love that.
We never left. Oh no. Oh yes.
Hair and the artificial body attachment
I'm sorry, what?
character being introduced. This granola character sports a really nice design. I love the hair and the artificial body attachments, and beyond anything else, I love that he has a vested interest in the recovery of 7-3 after his battle on Earth. It's connected, it makes sense, and it's compelling. It's all...
It makes sense how? What part of it makes sense if we don't know what his goal is
This is the one chapter.
to getting it? Mark, please answer that question. Mark.
very exciting, and I'm so interested to see what more is to come. And
Whoops!
despite coming away from certain chapters disliking what I perceive to be cheap callbacks and unoriginal takes on a tenuous story at best, upon rereading the arc for the sake of this video, I was so surprised to see how little those negative nuggets mattered when I could immediately venture forth onto the next chapter. Taking instances like Moro looking to get young again feeding like King Piccolo, or Goku giving Moro's...
The problems are still there regardless if you can go to the next chapter or not.
This is just like that Jenny video where she was like, binge watching versus weekly watching. And one of her things was Jessica Jones has like this narrative sludge because you can just binge watch and it all feels kind of repetitive and just kind of going through the motions. Whereas something like Succession, you can watch it weekly, and yes, that same sludge is there, but because it's weekly, it kind of pushes to the back of your mind and allows it to breathe and for you to kind of forget. And it's just like, no, the same problems are there. You're not advocating for weekly watching versus binge watching. You want better writing.
Yes.
Because the repetitiveness and the sludge is still there. You're just consuming it in a way that makes it more or less forgivable. And that's exactly what Mark is doing here.
He's consuming it, but I could just go on to the next chapter.
And it now makes it more forgivable because it all flows better because I'm not waiting 30 days to read the next chapter. Man, it's trash.
feeling like the Cell games. When I finished reading this story, I was able to put those isolated instances to the side and enjoy the story for what it was. Last year...
I just gave up caring about him, and now I can enjoy the story for what it is.
It is what it is at this point.
Are you? This is Phil.
I wrote a review I am honestly embarrassed by, and I hope that this review at least helps to right that wrong. The Moro Arc, while there are hiccups here and there, is easily the best arc penned by Toyotaro to date, implementing narrative...
Hey, do you know why? Because the rest is super real bad outside of Beerus.
This at least had a good start. This at least had a character where you just go, ooh, not just big, strong punch man. Oh.
choices I've been waiting literal years for. And now that we've gotten a glimpse of this new strikingly modern Toriyama design...
He was waiting literal years for it. But if it wasn't for Twitter, he would have forgotten about Dragon Ball even existing. Sure, those things
this
coincide.
strikingly modern Toriyama design? What the are you talking about? It's the same. It's Vegeta's.
It's an eye patch and scarf.
This is legitimate Build-A-Bear with Dragon Ball characters.
Just slot in certain things and put in certain things, and you got a whole new character.
It's clear to see that Dragon Ball Super has potentially a very bright future ahead of it if they can keep this standard up.
What doesn't have a potentially bright future, Mark?
If they can keep the what?
Dragon Ball Super has potentially a very bright future ahead of it if they can keep this standard up beyond the currently discussed stories.
Keep the standard up beyond the currently... What did that mean? What did that sentence even mean? Listen to the sentence again. Somebody in the comments, please tell me exactly what that sentence meant. You're not going to get a free revisited out of it, by the way. I'm not this bum.
Modern Toriyama design for granola, it's clear to see that Dragon Ball Super has potentially a very bright future ahead of it if they can keep this standard up beyond the currently discussed stories.
Guy! My guy!
It's the last 30 seconds, so he's just like, nobody's listening.
I love Dragon Ball, I always will, and I can't wait to see what the series has to offer in the future. But until then, I've been Totally Not Mark. I'll see you all in the new year, and thank you all so much for watching.
This guy is awful.
And that's a big old Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Hollis asked in the comment, was just like, named a bunch of people, like, if you could do a collab.
Oh, I just responded that. No, it wasn't even that. If you had to watch a collab with two creators. So
was it watch a collab?
Yeah, if you had to watch a collab with like Totally Not
do
Mark and Grant.
I thought it was do a collab.
Yeah, no. It was
I
watch
might
a
have
collab.
answered incorrectly then.
Yeah, look that up for me. Because one of us is wrong.
Would you rather watch a collab with Confused and Nuxaku, Totally Not Mark and Grand Line Review, or Dritz and Triggered?
Yeah. I just answered. Yeah, I don't know how you got that.
Would I?
Between those three, I said for the fun versus for my sanity. For my sanity, I'd rather watch Mark and Grand Line. I feel like they could bounce off each other fine, and it would be milk toast enough where I'm just like 10. I wouldn't get too angry about it. For the fun,
Triggered and Dritz just are stupid.
yeah, and that's the thing. I feel like Dritz would try to force Triggered to elaborate on his points of why One Piece is bad, and I don't think Triggered has the capacity to do so. So I don't think that video would be very good. I don't think that one would be fun.
Well, we might get a sneaky N-word in there. Just a little one. Dritz might be feeling himself that day.
It'll be like in game. There was some white kid that just said, "There's some earlier in my bed." The game just comes in and goes, "I'm the game, and I approve that." It would just be Triggered doing that. I'm tired of these. I'm Triggered Senpai, and I approve.
I approve. He has my blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark
always
something
feels like he's not filth when you've got the distance away from Mark.
Seriously.
When you're consuming Dritz and Triggers,
It's just like,
and all these and
Mark,
Clyde and all.
whatever.
And it's just like, yeah, it's Mark. Who cares? What? And then you listen to him again, and it's like, oh no, this guy is horrific. He's not. He's like under the surface awful. We got so many surface level bums. We're just like, hey, y'all know Finn, Bricky. That's hilarious. Y'all know Mother's Basement. That's hilarious.
It's just like Mark is just here. He's always been here.
Just under the in the basement, just like, yo, just banging from the basement every now and then, like, oh, that's just Mark, no worries. And then we gotta go see him, and he's done defecated all over the floor. And we're like, oh, we gotta go. It's been months. What are you eating? Yeah, so this is probably gonna be out Sunday, so it's way past the Clyde thing. They thought we were gonna do Triggered this week again.
We never promised anything.
Dude, I'm sorry. We did 5 hours the last Trigger stream. I'm not doing another Trigger stream after that.
Like, I thought you were gonna do Bricky. When was that? When was that?
I thought we were doing the Moro video Saturday. I asked him if he wanted to stream more video.
Muff asked in the Discord.
Oh, dude, they're head canoning revisited. It's just like,
It pledged that they want.
hey, I thought you guys were doing the 7-hour rainfall. What?
Don't remember that exactly.
Alright, yeah, don't know what we're doing next week.